Hello, welcome to the 2017 Year in Review cast. I'm Father Time, celebrating the life, the death, and the rebirth of 2018 as we know it, but first, here's the actual show. And a theme music will play. No, 2018, because time is not a real thing, right?
That's actually like really relevant. That intro makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
It's too logical, man. It's like that. I'm just remembering that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie where he goes and meets Father Time and like.
Okay, so
What kind of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movies did you fucking?
You know the like stuffed puppet one? It's
Wait,
the second one with the snow miser and the fire miser.
There's a second one?
Yeah, the Rankin Bass movies.
And he goes and meets
Wasn't
Father
that-
Time.
Wasn't that...
What the fuck, man?
Wasn't that Jack Frost?
No, well, I think Jack Frost kind of fell under the same line
He's
as
in it.
them, but like the Rankin Bass movies where they're all animated claymation whatever thing. It's a guy.
The whole universe. Like
Yeah, the Rankin Bass cinematic universe, the RCU.
An extended cinematic Christmas universe.
Hey, listen, they tried to remember that movie, The Rise of the Guardians, where they had the Easter Bunny and like Jack
Yeah.
Frost and Santa Claus.
That was actually a pretty good movie.
They tried this shit
just
already.
owl?
So sorry, Daniel. Did you say ranking bass?
Rankin
Rank.
hyphen Bass. That's a name.
Are we sure this year in review is not to rank different types of fish?
Well, it
Shut
could be.
up.
I mean, I've never played a
Thanks,
Sega Bass
Dad.
Pro fishing in life.
That joke was bad
don't
and you
know what I'm
should
trying to say
feel
there.
bad.
Anyway,
Bass.
That joke was dad, and you should feel dad.
we're about a minute into this shit and we haven't introduced ourselves. I'm Daniel. Who the fuck else is here?
I'm dying inside. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
Doesn't
Doug.
Doesn't
Inside
matter.
I'm
Just say your
James.
goddamn names.
I'm Sarah.
Who else we got?
Michael.
Hi.
James.
Hi.
I'm Will.
Hi. Who else?
Crystal.
Hi everybody. How we doing?
Great.
So I've done like
Do you want
5
an
of
honest
these
answer,
things. Oh. I've done like 5 of these things, and I'm pretty sure I'm the best ever at this sort of thing at this
I
point.
think so.
But
Yeah.
you gotta understand that going into this, I wake up, I'm like, I gotta get a crew together, and we show up, and I have no idea what you animals are gonna do. But I gotta say, you are some of the most unruly people I've ever met in my life, and I like that attitude. Keep it up, crew.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Because I hate myself.
But either way, we took a few weeks off, so it's
Self-loathing.
been.
Woo.
Hey. Hi. Love you.
Now you know what it's like to teach high school.
Yeah. So we took a few weeks off. How we all been? What's going on? It's literally the day before New Year's Eve.
It's fucking cold out.
It's
Yeah.
cold as shit,
I
colder than
hate
Mars.
I hate
Yeah,
it so much.
colder
My
than Mars,
entire
colder
face
than
is covered in
Siberia.
icicles.
Colder than the North
Santa
Pole.
took his
And the South Pole.
vacation here this year after Christmas.
Why would he go to somewhere cold? Wouldn't he want to go somewhere warm? He lives in something
It's-
cold.
He's Santa. He's got a lot of fat. He doesn't even know.
Yeah,
Oh, that's how that works.
I messed up. I'm sorry.
It's
I mean,
okay.
if he comes here when it's cold, he can do all of his, gifts and stuff. No one's around. No one sees Santa going in the houses because it's cold. I mean, I know that's not Christmas, but
Dude,
it doesn't
oh,
matter. Maybe he's still
okay.
putting out presents.
Speaking of Santa, I had a pretty cool idea a while ago. I saw a video. Apparently at Macy's, they have like 8 different Santas hidden in the back of different like races and cultures and stuff like that for kids who, are not white.
Okay.
But apparently the reason they have all these other guys hidden is to maintain this tradition that, there's only one Santa, obviously. So I had stupid, right?
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah.
I had the idea for a video game universe, kind of like Assassin's Creed, where there's this, like, ancient society of Santas of all different cultures from around the world
Oh
that
my
go
God.
around delivering presents until they were almost ruined by the Coca-Cola Company in the 1950s.
Will,
You mean invented by the
As a side
Coca-Cola
note,
Company?
Macy's
No.
also has
No,
a
they
shirt
ruined
with
it.
Santa with a 6-pack.
Oh fuck yeah, that's my Santa
That's
daddy.
Hold up though. Well, when you said that they had a bunch of Santas hidden in the back, I thought you were saying they were gonna do like a Santa scavenger hunt.
Me too, man.
No, like actual people, where if you go in and ask for Mr. Claus, they'll get you a Santa that looks
So
like
find
you.
the Turkish
Oh my
Santa,
God.
win a prize.
Yeah.
Well, what's disappointing about this to me is they only have the one Santa out, but now I'm imagining like
Santa
Like a-
DLC.
No, like a Mission Impossible spin-off where they're all Santas and they're all doing like the house break-ins with the gifts.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
It's like a whole squad of
You
Santas.
got Santa Classic, you got Saint Nick, you got
Wait.
Krampus, you got the whole team.
If we're doing it like Assassin's Creed, does that mean we're gonna have the stupid fucking genetic memory thing? And then somebody has like a memory of like
You are the last
that in the
descendant of
games or
Santa
something?
Hold on,
Claus.
now you're insinuating that Santa's not timeless and that he would have to die in order to have genetic memory. It's the same Santa.
He could be like Doctor Who. He's like
Santa's
a Time Lord.
all
Sometimes there's more than one Santa. Sometimes there's only one
Santa's
Santa.
like a concept, man. He's not a physical
Suddenly
thing.
Santa's
Yeah.
a woman and everybody is just really mad about that.
What if Santa and Krampus are the same, just like reincarnated as different time iterations?
Isn't that
What
the
if
plot
Santa's
of the Shivering
actually Yoda?
Isles? Huh?
What if Santa's actually Yoda?
Well, Yoda never technically dies. Maybe Santa's just one with the Force.
Maybe.
He could probably be a Jedi.
Are you
What if
impl-
Santa is like a Force ghost and he did die and like...
What if we're all Santa?
So wait, are you just telling me that like
There's Santa within all
I
of
hate
us.
this fucking podcast.
we're all
The
Santa
real
now?
Santa's the friends we made along the way.
Is it?
I thought that was my mom.
See, now I just get
No,
the image
I-
of like
I saw
fucking
Mommy kissing
Santa
Santa
Claus in
Claus.
like a Jedi robe on top of the sleigh, using the Force
Just
to fly
kissing.
through the night sky.
Daniel, he's... You know how like everyone has like their Jedi robes that like flutter in the wind? I'm imagining Santa with like the down to the ground like Santa-colored trench coat.
Oof.
Whoa.
Oh,
And then like a candy cane lightsaber.
I was gonna say his lightsaber's a candy cane.
So wait, question though. With like, I saw Mommy kissing Santa Claus.
It was Alec
Am I-
Guinness.
Does that mean
Am I,
I'm
like-
Santa's kid?
Am I like literally the last person on the planet to figure out that it was actually the dad dressed up as Santa Claus?
Wait,
think-
Yes.
what?
Yeah.
Hold on a second. What?
Yeah, you
Second
okay? You're
last.
second last.
Wait, why would his mommy be such a kinkster that she dressed up Daddy like a Santa Claus?
Because it's Christmas Eve and he was dressing up to put the presents under the tree.
Because Mommy's been on the naughty
Because,
corner.
Hey, if you put the
mommy needs a spanking. That's,
you-
that's what she
Yeah.
needs.
If you put those fucking kids to bed at the right time, they won't get up looking for no goddamn Santa Claus. So why wear the fucking costume anyway?
Hey, Michael, is that a lump of coal in your pants? Or are you just happy to see me?
No, that's a lump of
Both?
coal.
I actually got a lump of coal one year.
Really? Were
Yeah,
you,
so-
like, did you do some really bad shit that year?
No, so what actually ended up happening is, I guess kid logic me was really worried I wasn't actually going to get anything for Christmas. So I wrapped up some of my stuff I already had and put it under the tree for myself so that I wouldn't be disappointed. And Santa, air quotes here, Santa wrote a letter to me that was basically like, this is really thoughtful and kind of you that you were like, you know, giving yourself gifts so that other kids can have more gifts. Here's a lump of coal you can give to someone else.
Wow.
And it was actual coal too. I still have it. And I think my parents have the notes still.
So wait, here's a lump of coal you can give to someone else, and you're like, fuck everyone else, I'm keeping my coal. Santa brought it for me, not you.
But like before central heating, I think a lump of coal would be a great gift.
I can survive
Burns
another
forever,
day.
man.
Thanks,
There was
Papa.
a Crystal. There was a really good article on the Beaverton, which is a comedy site, and it was like, Santa's still giving coal to bad kids, bitch him into good kids.
There's a company that makes a candy. It was called Lumpo Coal with a little O apostrophe.
Actually,
whatever.
my parents got me that.
Yeah,
for
I got one
Christmas.
too. Basically, it's a plastic-shaped lump of coal that you open up. It's got little candies in it. Now, I remember these fuckers went on Dragon's Den to try and expand their brand with a Lumpo Gold and a Lumpo Love, which was they're just red and gold versions of the things for,
Aw.
like, one was Valentine's Day themed, and all the dragons are like, this doesn't have a whole lot of brand potential, so we're gonna go ahead and decline, and no one funded. The end.
Lumpo
That was
love.
just sad.
Yeah.
Kids
Well,
just like get unwrapping a lumpo love, and it's like, why does this look like a tumor? No, it's love, dear.
it just goes to show, don't follow your dreams, because the dragons are just gonna shoot you down anyway. Literal dragons flying in the sky shooting down your dreams.
I'm imagining like the dragons shooting like
awesome.
beam arrows out of its mouth and like sniping down like F1 fighters with these beam arrows out of its mouth.
That's not
Do you mean
Game of Thrones.
Drakengard? Sorry, what? Spoiler. Huh?
So
What?
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 Can we all just agree that the best game of 2017 was Skyrim VR?
Now, oh.
I've still never actually
Virtual
played Skyrim.
reality is just evil and cruel to those of us with motion sickness because, like,
Or,
within 2
you know,
seconds of
fucking
wearing it,
glasses.
you're like
Skyrim is everything.
Actually,
There are no
glasses
more
aren't a
video
problem
games,
for me
just Skyrim.
because like the screen is so close to my eyes that the focus isn't an issue.
I guess.
I
yeah.
haven't
no,
tried
For me, it's just
VR.
that it doesn't fit over properly.
Well, like if you take them off, like the focus won't be an issue.
For me, the one time I tried it, it was. But,
Which
To
one
be
did you?
fair, we tried that before virtuality was like a good thing.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we tried that with that crappy little museum exhibit
Yeah.
of Da Vinci.
Now, admittedly, the only time I've ever
Yeah.
tried VR was a cardboard box with a phone in it. So
I would like
Maybe
to
that
try
would be better
VR,
then.
but the main thing is like I've heard there's a lot of problem with motion sickness because like your movements of your body don't match what you see. But
Yeah.
I also can't see the 3D and 3D movies, so I don't know if VR will actually work if I tried it at all.
There's an interesting kind of like race. It's like an arms race to find out who can get the best motion in a VR game. Because everyone's like, all right, you teleport around, or there's one game where you're in a space station and you grab things to move around in zero gravity, and that works out pretty good. But just pushing a stick forward while you're in this VR headset kind of makes you sick. And some people are like, sometimes it works well, sometimes it doesn't. Apparently Resident Evil 7, it's not an issue, but like playing...
Yeah.
Before Skyrim VR came out proper, there was a mod to make it VR, and that was like the biggest motion sickness inducing thing on the planet.
For
Really?
VR, isn't
Yeah.
it basically that you just need to kind of double the image, so
two
it's
screens.
like stereoscopic kind of?
Yeah, and then they generate two kind of slightly separate images that your
Exactly.
mind then pieces together as one big
Yeah,
image.
like the main issue is the same concept as motion sickness on boats, where like you see the water moving and it's not how your body's moving. It's
Well, I'll tell you right now, even with your eyes closed, you still get motion sick. Trust me.
It's your inner ear. It's all about the inner ear, and I don't know if that's really a thing for VR. It might be the brain fucking with you, but on boats, if you have a poor...
Wait a minute.
You know,
So are you saying that with like VR, if you closed your eyes while playing a VR game, getting motion sickness, you'd still get motion sick?
It's actually highly possible. Like, I'm not kidding. When we did that museum thing, I was wearing it for probably, not even 5 minutes.
Yeah,
It wasn't
you were,
very long.
You were pretty sick.
And I had to sit on the floor for 15 minutes
Yeesh.
afterwards trying to, like, reorient myself. I felt so sick.
By the way, for all you viewers out there, this is part of a new segment we're calling Motion Sickness with Crystal.
you're ripping off our band.
I was gonna say, all four of us were in the room. We could have made a
There are
fun
lots of
motion
stories.
sickness joke, but we didn't because we're idiots. Either way.
Favorite games of the year? Mario Odyssey.
That-
Arms, Tekken, Cuphead.
Let me pull up my list real quick because
I still play N64.
I didn't think we were jumping quite there just
That's
yet,
my
but I do have
newest system.
I do have a nice list here of things.
Michael
I'm
is
thinking.
getting
Like-
an N64 for Christmas. I'm so excited.
Rad.
If it doesn't have GoldenEye, I'm gonna go to a used game store and buy GoldenEye.
Do
They
it.
got the Antiques Mall.
I will literally
Really?
just.
Yeah, they have a good collection.
whole set there, and
Oh,
they're
dude,
not
that's
even
fucking
expensive.
awesome.
Okay, you know what?
Same
You know
with
what?
NES and stuff.
Nice.
You're giving me a new idea for a project, but what if I just fucking I'm gonna make an N64 ROM cart, and then I'm gonna fucking hack an N64, and then I'm just gonna make an N64 that plays every N64 game.
So what I'm
That
hearing
sounds
is I
awesome.
need to
That already
hide
exists.
But
my
I wanna do that
N64.
myself.
Whereas I'll play all N64 games.
No, but you just have one cartridge, plug it in, every single game is on that cartridge.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Because I'm thinking now that now that I know a bit more about this whole thing, I could probably get that going for you.
I thought I heard something about that. Like that's already. a
Those
thing.
definitely do exist,
Yeah.
but I think Daniel wants to do like the actual workmanship project.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I've been
okay.
fucking around with more of that. Like I built that stick from
Right.
a new board I've never used before, and I'm more than anything impressed that it worked the first time I tried it, because I was expecting some hardcore failure, but man, I plugged that thing in and it worked. So.
Looked
Did you
really
use the
good.
colors or did you use the clear?
Well, I wanted to play some Street Fighter before everyone showed up, but I'll be real, I forgot when we were all. I forgot when I told you all to meet me here, so that didn't happen. But so I went with the white ones, but then I took the white caps out, so it's literally just clear button tops, clear everything, clear. Unfortunately, there is a home button that is blue because I don't have any more
That's
clear
very
buttons. but-
modern hipster of you, Daniel.
What? Going minimalist?
Minimalist acrylic.
No, I love
clear,
minimalism, man.
white. Oh, it's
Oh, I'm
beautiful.
all about that. I crave minimalism in all facets of my being, except for my own like self-expression. Because
I
I'm.
crave minimalism in
feel
all
like you need
aspects
an
of my
acrylic
life, and that's
desk
why I
now.
walk around naked.
Well, I'll tell you what. Those chairs, they're covered up by jackets currently, but like clear anything. If I could have clear everything, I would. But you know, that's the way we go.
Really?
But do we want to jump into of the year deliberations or what? Because I mean, we can go on, but like, it's been 2 weeks. Nobody got anything fun for Christmas. Nobody.
I got a bread maker.
Shit, that's fun. I got a pizza
pretty
cutter.
cool.
I got
I'm pretty excited
socks.
about
I
bread maker.
got socks.
So like I moved 3
We're at
weeks
the
ago,
age we need socks.
and my parents helped me out with
Yeah.
a lot of stuff for the move. So I actually quite literally only got a thing of cashews for Christmas.
Hey, that's useful.
I'm not complaining. I like
Yeah,
cashews.
yeah,
They
yeah.
help me with move stuff and furniture. So like no complaints here.
I got a guitar and a bass.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Courtesy
Thanks,
of James.
James.
Was it Quake bass?
Yeah,
Oh, well, you're all right. The lineage of that bass is long and storied.
I bought that from
Yeah.
Daniel in
Well,
high school.
hopefully nothing that I can not tell the children.
Just
You can,
I mean,
you can make up a story.
more than
It's
anything, I'm
okay.
just embarrassed as to what was scratched off of there, but it's not anything particular. It was just a rudimentary version of this.
I was like, maybe I should take a really
Daniel
close
just showed us
look
his tattoo.
at it.
Oh yeah. Thanks. See, that's good broadcast. That's good broadcast. Pointing
Wait,
out
Daniel
things.
has a tattoo?
What? I have a tattoo. I'm
Where?
planning on getting that other one because Michael challenged me. He said, in the time that we've all been living here together, Lindsay and Michael have both gotten new tattoos, so I'm on the docket for the next
Oh,
one.
Michael, you have a tattoo?
Uh-oh.
No.
Uh-oh.
What?
You didn't hear it from me.
Michael got a tattoo a few weeks ago. For
Yeah.
those of you listening
Michael
at home.
is looking
Will,
very
remember?
abashed,
Why
and
are you
he's
so
not
nervous?
showing
Remember,
us
Michael?
his
We
tattoo.
told him about the
Michael, why
tattoo.
do you
Oh
look so nervous?
yeah.
Because Michael came in and he's like, "Oh, I ate
Because
shit on the
kids
ground."
listen
and
to this, man.
Kids
No,
do
they
not
don't.
listen to this.
Nobody. I don't even listen to this.
Crystal.
Nobody
So we were
listens.
doing the podcast a few weeks ago. Michael comes in and he's like, "Oh man, I fell over and ate shit. I think my shoulder's bleeding." And so he takes off his shirt and it's just his tattoo. He made up a story so we'd look at his tattoo.
You know what? The thing that pisses me off
Yeah,
the
now
most
he's
about that
hiding
is
his tattoo.
What?
that you didn't fucking do that in the recording. You did it while we were all just sitting around doing nothing. That would have been great.
Hey guys, I just ate shit while walking in from my fucking vehicle. Oh my god. Take my shirt off.
You were wearing that
and
exact same shirt. Too,
It's
by
a
the way.
tattoo.
Did you-
Holy fuck. Jesus Christ. What?
Oh.
What is it? I
Have you
wanna
gone to
see
get it? Have you got it finished since last time?
No, not yet. That's set to be
Okay, so
done
Sarah,
in
you haven't seen
January.
this tattoo
No.
either? Okay,
Well, you
Sarah
actually
and I
have to
would
take
like
your
see
shirt
the
off
tattoo,
now.
I have no idea this was a thing.
All right.
I'm really
go for it.
uncomfortable right now.
Do it.
Michael, get undressed. Show us your tattoo. Come
All
on.
the pants too, please.
That's later.
Okay.
Get
he
me
is.
drunk
He's
first.
taking off his hoodie. The hoodie is now off, everybody.
Fuck you,
Careful,
it's a
this is gonna have to be
cardigan.
R-rated right
Do you want me
away.
to just cut all this out? Because I don't really care. But it's better than dead air.
Oh,
The
okay.
shirt is off.
I don't get
It's
the
a question
reference.
block from Mario.
No, it's not.
No,
See, Super Mario Odyssey Game of the Year.
the way I say it is
Yeah.
Z.
Z.
W. We went over this.
There's a graphic novel, comic book, whatever you want to call it, called Johnny the Homicidal Maniac.
So for anybody who's wondering what this tattoo is, it is a rectangle with a Z and a question mark in it.
Yeah,
One
I
day-
forgot that you can't see it because this is very much an audio-based medium.
Hey, look.
I mean, actually, we could get around that. You know how like there's the spectrographs of audio. We could encode the images in using like the
You could be like
spectrographs.
a picture of Michael's tattoo.
Dude, we just went full like Trent Reznor on this
For,
shit. And I
for
hope
the
you
listeners
know
here,
that.
we're gonna encode
I was thinking more
his
like Jordan, but
tattoo
whatever.
in as a spectrograph. So if you download this podcast on iTunes, take a look at about
Like, comment, and
16 minutes
subscribe.
in, minus however much we edit. So
Yeah, you're giving me-
sometime at the start.
You're giving me way more credit than is normally allowed. Because God, I don't know how to do that. And B, like again, you guys all assume I actually go back and edit this stuff, but I can't be
There's
bothered.
got to be a YouTube video somewhere telling you how to do that.
Oh, probably. I mean, Google taught me how to do basically everything I've ever known in
Hey,
my life.
I still want to edit this. I told
Yes,
you
yes.
that, so.
I was telling them a new mic, a new board is in the mail. So this will be coming in a separate audio tracks for everybody kind of thing. So you will get a chance to actually edit some.
We
good,
also
decent
need a
material.
new mic because the one sitting here is a shithead.
Well,
Hey.
we just
Hey.
throw out all the mics we got on this fucking podcast because
Yeah.
there's way too many.
No, there's nothing wrong with these mics. These mics work just fine.
Somebody missed the joke.
No.
Apparently.
We have too many Michaels around
Mike?
here, and I'm getting sick
Oh,
of them. Yeah.
okay.
I've only
For
made
those
that
of you
joke
listening
like
at home,
50,000.
his name is Michael.
And I'm the person who doesn't get things until way too long after that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, I got a pizza cutter. I got socks. I got
We got.
HDMI cables, man. HDMI cables are fucking
Dude,
useful.
I'm jealous of socks. Honestly, like
Yeah.
I need new socks.
Got
Socks look
Hogwarts
pretty bomb, actually.
themed wine
Yeah,
glasses,
my socks.
even though
Like the
neither of us-
houses?
Yeah, like the houses. Basically,
Funny story. Will's brother was like, "Hey, what houses are you in? Gryffindor and Hufflepuff?" And we're like, "Don't know. We're not Pottermore." Fun fact: we're Slytherin and Ravenclaw.
So I was gonna say when you reach into the cabinet and pull one out, I'm going, well, which house would you be? But I guess that answers the question.
So
Yeah, it
I
does.
did my Pottermore house, and I wasn't satisfied with it, so I did it again, and I got the same thing. So I guess I'm Gryffindor according to Pottermore.
yeah.
I've never been sorted, but if I was, I'd like to think I'm an amalgamation of all four in some new house.
Are
I've
you
just-
saying you're Harry Potter?
Yes, I've created my own house.
Well, no, to
No,
be
what
fair,
he's
Harry
saying
Potter's
is
definitely
he is
not like a Ravenclaw.
He is transcended.
Yeah,
He
kind
is
of
all
He
all
copies
is
his
Daniel.
homework.
Yeah.
Every
The main
time.
trio is apparently represents all three of the other houses.
Well,
so
Ravenclaw
Hermione,
isn't necessarily just like. Oh God, I'm
Smart
getting,
people.
getting really bad flashbacks right now.
Oh, the Potter
Junior
Wars
high
are
is
over.
back.
Hey man, like I mean, if J.K. Rowling has her way, we're gonna be getting Harry Potter movies till we die. But the Potter Wars are over,
I don't
so
want them.
you're out, man. You got out.
No, I did.
There's Potter
I know.
Wars.
Yeah, you know,
There's still
Yeah,
4 more movies coming
Ron's
out, right?
Hufflepuff.
being on the internet during the Harry Potter
The
times.
newest
Hermione's
Harry Potter movie
Ravenclaw,
was so
and Harry is
fucking bad.
You're
Slytherin.
talking about the
Kind of
Beasts.
represent the
Yeah.
three
Good thing there's 4 more.
It was so boring.
And Johnny Depp's in them. Get ready for that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That killed it.
Yeah.
I just want him to make an appearance in the new Harry Potter movie as Willy Wonka. That's all I fucking
I mean,
want.
Can we
yeah,
just
it
agree
makes
that
sense.
the Tim Burton Willy Wonka never happened?
I never seen it, but I didn't like it. How it looked was just
Willy
like.
Wonka, Willy Wonka in the Wizarding Universe is fucking canon. I'm saying it now. I don't even give a shit about Harry Potter.
What did
Did anybody else absolutely just squeal with delightment when they made the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory reference in Thor with the music?
I still haven't seen Thor
What's that
Ragnarok.
for?
So
Oh, I'm sorry, Daniel.
Yeah, no,
People
I'm way
keep-
behind on the times on that
Crystal,
one.
people keep telling me about this. I love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I didn't pick up on it. Mitch is
Really?
like, how about that Charlie and the Chocolate Factory scene? And I'm like, what are you
Well,
talking
like a
about?
lollipop
It's
guild? What are we
like
talking
when
about here?
he's
I know,
that's
it's hard to
Wizard
it's
of
the
Oz.
music
That's the wrong
super,
one.
super slow. I remember looking over Will
Oh,
and being
yeah,
like,
yeah. Okay, I do remember that.
Factory.
Yeah,
and start
you
singing
can,
the
I
song.
didn't pick up on it at the time. So, like, I don't know.
They did that with a commercial trailer. I don't know. I was with my mother and trying to explain to her what the Avengers were. It was
Oh, yeah.
rough.
So when we went to see Star Wars, they played the Infinity War trailer.
Whoa,
and I-
there's a new Star Wars?
And I kind of posited, like, if you were to try to explain this movie in particular to anybody who has not seen or heard of any of these fucking movies, they would have their mind blown. It's like, all right, so Spider-Man and Hulk. Like, who's Hulk? Who's Spider-Man? I'm like, oh, shit.
So I had to try to explain to my mother in the trailer what was going on. First of all, she had no idea what the Infinity Stone were. She's only
Most people
seen
didn't
the
until these
first
movies.
2 Iron Men and the first Captain America, and she didn't know who the characters were, didn't know how they related, and could not wrap her head around the fact that Spider-Man was not the Spider-Man that she grew up with.
Yeah, doesn't Spider-Man hang out with
Oh,
Batman?
what's
What
his
is this?
So,
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. She was
So
very upset
she
that it was
didn't-
not
she didn't
Tobey
grow
Maguire.
up
All right,
yet.
this is episode 5. Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man showing up on 3 of these episodes so far.
so I just want to point out that when Will and I saw Star Wars yesterday, he definitely brought that story up, and I was just like, are we gonna dunk on Crystal's mom? Are we gonna dunk on Crystal's mom?
My favorite Tobey Maguire Spider-Man story is when I went to The Great Gatsby. They made that remake of The Great Gatsby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The music
rough.
was pretty good. The movie was
To be
mixed.
fair, reading The Great Gatsby's not really interesting either. So.
So
The cover of that book is the most interesting thing about it. Anyway.
there's this one scene where Leonardo DiCaprio, that was who it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes in to Tobey Maguire, and he's like, yeah, we
Oh
should...
my.
That's dirty.
No. Come on.
I'm sorry.
He
Go ahead,
goes
go
into the
ahead.
shack with Tobey Maguire, and Toby's like, when should we schedule lunch? And he's like, oh, we should schedule this for the day after tomorrow. And I just burst out laughing, so I'm like, holy cow, day after tomorrow reference, that Tobey Maguire movie. And I think this is the hilarious thing. I've been telling everyone about it. I come to band practice with these guys, and Daniel's like, that's Jake Gyllenhaal in Day After Tomorrow.
The funny thing is, the moment you said that, it reminded me of the story. I'm like, they do kind of look a little similar.
They don't.
Hey, guys.
No.
Hey,
guys.
leave me alone. Hey, shut up.
Here's a
I
riddle.
think.
If you draw me, I'll crack. But if you smile, I'll smile back. What am I?
Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man.
Gwen
My
Stacy.
self-esteem.
No, she died. Again, that's the third time Gwen Stacy's been mentioned. Prolific.
Hey Parker, you know what my favorite type of rice is?
Uncle
Uncle
Ben's.
Ben's.
I can't get over the fact that fucking J.K. Simmons is Commissioner Gordon in the new Justice League movie. Because, I mean, he doesn't care. That guy just wants some fucking
Wait
money.
a second. Is
Yeah.
J.K. Simmons like the alternate universe combination crossover character of J.K. Rowling and Gene Simmons?
There it is. There it is, everybody.
I'm not sure if I'm way into that or
These are the
fucking
jokes you come here
terrified.
for, ladies and gentlemen. That's the top tier comedy we like to represent here on the actual show.
You actually know who J.K. Simmons is?
I know who J.K. Simmons is.
J.K. Simmons
I
is the
think
guy
I-
from Portal. Jeez.
He's the guy from Allstate.
He's the guy from Farmers Insurance.
No, he's Flo from Progressive.
He's the gecko from the Geico
Simmons
commercials,
like
guys,
J. Jonah
please.
Jameson.
Who's the hot
Affleck.
daddy from the
Original
is
Spider-Man.
it?
Ben Affleck.
You don't know who's that?
Farmers.
We're so funny.
Give me
No,
pictures
no,
of
no,
Spider-Man.
no.
Dude, this is
Okay.
Oh, that's Travago, the
This is
Travago
post-humor.
daddy. Yeah,
Man,
sell me a hotel.
I derailed that.
Are we
Anyways,
calling him Travago Daddy?
Yes, that's his name. That is his name on his birth
program.
certificate.
Is that canon or head canon?
Oh no, that is 100%.
Absolutely canon.
Real life
You know it's
canon.
true. Trivago
You see
Daddy.
him and you want to be his headcanon.
Woof, everybody.
Can I just mention, like, the first commercial he was in, I was just kind of like, ugh. But then, like, I warmed up to him, and I'm not
Yeah,
sure
you
if
did.
that was. I fucking hate all of you so very, very
Oh
much.
yeah, sell me a hotel at a competitive rate. Jesus. Oh, malarkey all across the board. Before we get into any good old talks
What
about
have
the
we
year,
been talking about for 25 minutes?
absolute nothingness, which is that's the way it should
The
be.
word
here.
daddy's been so sexualized that someday I'm gonna have to call my kids bra or have my kids call me bra
like,
or some shit.
I have to kink shame my children. Please stop calling me daddy.
that was absolutely not me. That was a tweet I saw a while ago. I'm not
The source of all good humor.
Yeah,
tweets.
namely
I
not
was
me.
gonna say that would also insinuate that Michael's gonna have children.
I mean, Michael may not be the
Oh,
source, but what if
feature.
he's like the wellspring of comedy? And if Michael were not to exist, comedy would also
What
have
if
to go
Michael
with
is
it.
Twitter?
What if?
Can we not get into this, please?
I hate how we're basically wearing the same fucking thing, except like I'm wearing a Doom hat, you're wearing a Doom Squad hat, I'm wearing a parody Iron Maiden shirt, you're wearing the real Iron
my
Maiden
So
shirt.
it's like parody, real parody.
Yeah, no, I
You're
hate
both wearing
those.
jeans?
Yeah,
Whoa.
I'm wearing
Although
socks
Michael does
though.
not have on socks,
Yeah,
and considering how cold it is here right now, that's
you know,
impressive.
Really
it's
isn't cold in
kind of
here.
cold in this house
In
a
here,
lot.
no.
so.
Outside, yes.
Like in here though, like upstairs
Michael
warm,
lives here,
downstairs
though.
no, it's
He doesn't
crazy.
have
Did you
travel.
take off socks when you came home?
That's for me to know and you to never find out.
All right.
Yeah, we're talking about his feet a bit too much here,
got
I'd
a-
say.
Well, we can have a... Yes, one
Wow,
second.
nice kink shaming, asshole.
I'm just stating the facts here,
Letting
man.
me open it.
I don't like feet, and I don't want to look at them as much as possible. But I mean, we all have them, so it's no getting around that.
You don't know that.
Well, you know what? I guess that was pretty ableist of me, isn't it?
Ableist?
Here are my foot
Ableist?
tentacles.
What do you call it?
Ableist.
I'm lost.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, some feet, I guess, don't happen on people.
You're right.
Some feet, I guess, don't happen on
There's
people.
a fucking dating sim where all of the girls are like horribly maimed, and one of the lines you can meet to the woman who's a double like leg amputee is like, "Holy shit, did your mother give birth on a landmine?" Yeah.
Jesus.
Just thought I'd bring,
Also,
just
what
thought
are
I'd
you
bring
guys
that up real
laughing
quick.
This fucking weird baby.
So Crystal just showed me a picture of a baby wearing a knit hat, giving something like the biggest stink eye I've ever seen in my life.
Just
Okay,
eyebrow
so
work
this-
is amazing.
He's just
this
ripping
baby
a big old fart.
Our,
That's what he's doing there.
His mother and I were talking today about how he's kind of like a Benjamin Button baby because he's
Oh,
so
God.
many wrinkles on his forehead,
Oh,
on the back
God.
of his head, and he's got this look on his face in this picture.
Wait,
that
does
is
that
just
mean that he's gonna?
absolute like
He looks like someone
angry
from
old
Newfoundland.
man yelling
Talking to
at
me?
kids.
Hey, you talking to me?
Yeah, that's exactly what he looks like.
I will-
and he's
I will-
wearing an apple hat, so that just makes it more adorable.
I will tell you what, like I mean, obviously we're not going to put a picture of someone's baby in the fucking link dump, but I'm trying to figure out how to work through the RSS feed and actually add links to this stuff. So hypothetically, we can show each other memes, and I can put them into some sort of description where people can look at them. But I like this kind of described visual thing we got going on, so I mean, we can keep doing that
Linked
too.
in the RSS feed, we have some random ass motherfucker's baby.
The actual show.
Describe
now.
the video. We're good for blind people.
No, you stole my joke. I was about to say that's literally the joke I was going to
I'm
make about
sorry.
describing
Okay.
video.
I'm sorry.
Before we get into talking about the year in review, you want to talk about a few bits of news that we missed on the 2-week
let's do
hiatus or
it.
so? I mean, it's been 2 or
Alright.
3 weeks. First things first, let's start off with something that only I and I guess James tangentially care about. This was announced many, many years ago, but fucking A, Street Fighter's back, motherfuckers. You don't care, but I care very strongly about this. Season 3 for Street Fighter. Bunch of new characters revealed, including Codell Traverson. He was a criminal, now he's the mayor!
That
He's
guy's
the
pretty
mayor!
fancy.
Daniel, can I ask a question about
Sure.
Street Fighter?
Yeah, what's up?
Why do they want to fight these streets so bad?
Okay, those streets, the streets of rage, some would say, those final fight streets of rage are very angry, and the ideal is you want to throw your person into the concrete as hard as possible to crack the concrete up.
That's just
Whoever causes the most collateral damage ends up
What did
winning.
the concrete ever do to
Are
you?
they at least paying their taxes to fix this concrete?
God, no, a lot of these people are homeless, effectively. They just kind of wander around looking from fight to fight.
Dude, if I was
makes you
homeless,
think
I'd
the
fight
homeless don't
street
pay
That sounds like
taxes.
Soul Calibur too, actually. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
kind
that's
of.
exactly what happens in Soul
for-
Calibur.
For me though, this is interesting. So I actually just got Street Fighter 5, and I was not buying Street Fighter 5 because I was trying to decide between buying it and a Russian knockoff NES to play bootleg games.
Fucking hell.
And then I found out there's this guy online who has a full project just to emulate those. So I went to go buy Street Fighter. It was on sale. Good times. And
Good times, good
now
times.
me and Daniel here, we're playing Street Fighter.
See, Street Fighter was my most disappointing game last year, but they're turning it around. They're adding so much good shit to it now that I was playing it the other day. I was playing it with that new stick I built. Oh my god, fucking!
Feels
I
good.
had one of those good things where there's a rematch function in this game where you play someone. If you lose, you can rematch them, and if they basically it's a best 2 out of 3. So if what happened is I lost the first game, total shutout. They beat me both 2 rounds. I won 1 round in the second match, but they ended up winning. Then I completely shut them out the third game. Oh, it's fucking great. Bottom line, bunch of new characters showed on screen here. A bunch of fucking idiot-looking people, including this one guy I want to talk about. This fucking guy right here. I gotta find a picture.
He's a
of
straight
him.
up G.
No, he is. He's a straight-up president of the United fucking States of America. Where are you, my
What?
guy? Where are
That
you,
is
my...
like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer or something.
So there is something I gotta say about character design where strong character design is taking an established character and just making it look like they flex their sleeves off. And that's what fucking G is. G is a fucking president of the United States, Abraham Lincoln motherfucker. There's a bunch of ninja bullshit. I hate this fucking guy.
That
Get
is
out of here,
like
Strider.
that is some fucking.
That last guy kind of looked like the kid from Big Hero 6, but like.
I was thinking
ages.
like a Super Saiyan 5 or whatever it is.
Here he is.
Goku.
It's
That guy
Cody.
looked like that
It's
picture of
Cody.
Kylo Ren where
Cody's
he's,
back.
like, shirtless and
He's gonna break through the wall just like a Final. Ah, there he is. He's back. It's Cody. Ah, he broke the cuffs.
Wow,
He's
what
no
a-
longer a criminal. He's the fucking mayor.
That was anticlimactic though, because we could see him walking up to the wall.
Well, but like here's the thing. Cody, his entire Street Fighter thing is he was wearing like a criminal, like prisoner outfit. So to see this like dapper guy walking up, you don't know who that is. Who the fuck is this guy? But then he breaks through the wall just like in Final Fight. Then he snaps the fucking cuffs off. Holy shit! It's Codell Travis then. Anyway, this is a bunch of nerd shit for me. But basically, season 3 is coming along with the arcade edition, including stuff like Team Battle. Street Fighter 5 continues to be awesome.
This podcast continues to be brought to you by Street Fighter 5.
Hey man, I would chill. Capcom sponsor me, everybody. I would chill.
Yeah,
Speaking of shilling for robots,
I would start to care
I mean,
about Street
honestly,
Fighter
if I had to
that
shill,
happened.
Capcom sponsor me too. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's for me.
I could use a sponsorship from Nike if you're listening.
yeah, Nike. Hey, if you're out there, sponsor. Speaking of shilling for robots, have you guys heard about this?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
Have you guys heard about this?
Oh, I've seen
Yeah.
that picture.
So basically, the Hall of Presidents in the Disney Imaginarium land. I don't know what the fuck Disney's about, but they added their Donald Trump robot to keep
Why?
current. But yeah, why?
Why?
They
Yeah,
have one of all the presidents.
he's not a fucking president. Sorry, I'm getting.
He's how limited on words I can use.
No, go ahead, say it all. I don't give a shit.
Every word.
I mean,
I
look,
can't even come up with the words. All that
So-
I'm getting is like a string of letters because nothing he says makes sense. So
Yeah,
Why-
true.
yeah,
Why
don't-
should what
so-
you say about him make sense?
exactly, like lorem ipsum dominus. Like, isn't that what shows up when you randomly put things into
So, Crystal.
Microsoft Word?
One of the big attractions they've had since
Latin
Disney
words that
opened
don't
is
actually mean anything.
one of the big attractions Disney's had since they opened, as far as I know. Is they have a Hall of Presidents, and they all give speeches and that sort of thing. So this is something Disney's obligated to do. It was expected. They announced there was going to be delays because they didn't want to mess up Trump's. I heard they gave him a really small amount of dialogue too, because like some of the
Small
older
hands.
presidents have a lot of dialogue. Between all of them, it's like over a half-hour show at least, I think.
it reflects the amount of things we wish he'd actually say.
Anyway, the meat of the potatoes of this story here is I'm looking at a picture of Hillary Clinton and then the robot they put into the Hall of
bad.
Presidents. And one might say that this image of Hillary Clinton and this image of the robot look kind of similar.
Her like neck wrinkle thing is identical.
Almost to the
I'm
point
looking-
where...
and
And,
when
like, the
Donald Trump's neck is
cheek
not that
thing.
thin, so they photoshopped
Well,
Donald Trump's neck
Here
into
is
a robot. Look what's
here
going on
is
there.
the
How do you
conspiracy theory.
Photoshop something into a fucking robot? That's
3D
impressive.
printing, I
Magic.
guess.
Here's the conspiracy theory, and that everyone thought
Same
that
thing.
the robot designed was Hillary Clinton because everyone thought Hillary Clinton was going to win this fucking election, like like a real democratic election would have probably brought about. But that didn't happen. So now all of a sudden these Imagineers, as they're called, are like, well, fuck, we got this robot built already. What are we going to do?
So
Just stretch the face a
Blame
little bit.
Russia.
Blame somebody for this goddamn uncanny
That
valley
At the
is
same
nightmare.
time, I
a
feel it's a pretty
monstrosity.
great. It's a good representation. Donald Trump is a monstrosity with a fucked up face. Donald Trump bot also a monstrosity with
This-
a fucked up
this thing
face.
looks-
It's differently fucked up.
I mean,
face, though.
look at Donald Trump's lips in this picture, though. Like, that is like some old lady lips there.
I also
His
there's
old
a
lady
picture.
lips.
Daniel's
That
showing
looks
us a
like Baba.
picture on the screen right now of the Donald Trump bot beside Hillary Clinton, and she just has the most enthusiastic bottom lip bite going on right now. And
she just really truly has no bottom lip.
I'm way into that picture.
picture-
I love that.
This
face.
picture looks how I feel at any given point in my
about
life.
Donald Trump.
About
see-
everything
you
about
see that?
2017.
Daniel's
like-
Donald Trump bot. I'm Hillary Clinton bot all the fucking time,
The
all
way,
day, every
the
day.
way the neck flap looks, though, to me, it almost looks like the neck's starting to be twisted to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a fucking
Well,
fucked up
It's like, is the head
robot.
gonna spin around? Or?
Poltergeist
Is
shit.
this how he's going to be assassinated? Anything?
The robot is going to come alive
He's
and get
gonna
him.
fuck himself up to death.
I on the docket I had wrote this segment down as Robo Trump versus Mecha Hillary. So anyway, that's
That
the
finally makes sense.
yeah. That's the brunt of this story.
So there's actually a really interesting side link there.
Oh, should I bring that back up?
Yeah, I just
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Let's read it anyway. I
on.
didn't see it.
Yeah, it's gonna be some real news here.
Bap.
Real news, real hard, all the time. All the news you didn't
So-
care to.
Is it
Guy arrested for Nigerian prince email scams is definitely not Nigerian royalty.
Whoa, what?
Holy shit!
Like, this is
That just
I
rocked
had
my-
plans.
this is
That
the
just
real
rocked
news.
my world.
I
Up
actually,
is down, down is up.
I actually got a Nigerian scam email a couple weeks ago, and I gotta say, like, how is that even still a thing when it's
What kind
become
of
such a
websites are you using? They're putting your
No, it went to
email
my
on
junk folder,
posts.
but like, how is this even still a thing in this day and age where that is like applicable? How come like everyone on the planet's heard of that at this point? We all know.
And meanwhile, there's an actual prince in Nigeria just sitting there like, why does nobody want my millions?
I actually do have another story to interject with. How do people not know? and that would be grandparents.
Oh,
So like my
yeah,
grandparents
yeah.
have not been good with viruses, but my former roommate Andrew, his grandparents called him and they're like, yeah, we have all these viruses and pop-ups for some reason. And he's like, well, what happened? And she's like, oh, I was going through the junk folder, opening every single email in the junk folder, and then I got a pop-up saying to call this number, so I called them.
Oh. I thought you were going to say, like, my grandparents were going through their email, and my grandpa was like, I just found a way to make my dick 5 inches longer.
You know, like, we can say as young people that the Nigerian prince thing is like a meme, but to a lot of older people, like, they are still falling for that, and at this point, like, seniors are like one of the main clientele for online scams.
Do you guys remember the time when there was a big scam going on where the Canada Revenue Agency would call up seniors and say, you need to pay off a large amount of money because you owe this in taxes, but please pay it in iTunes gift cards?
What the fuck?
So the answer
Did
to
you hear
this
about
is...
the
Gift cards, I
woman
didn't
who
hear
got
that
that
part.
call and
Yes.
then she spent the next half an hour crying and like fake crying into the phone about how she had no money, couldn't do it, didn't want to lose her house, and the guy on the line actually admitted that it was a scam, that she doesn't have to pay it.
But I will say, like, in large portions of, like, in large retailers across the country had to put up signs saying, if you're buying an iTunes gift card, please specify why, because so many people were rushing to the stores to buy iTunes gift cards to give the codes out to scammers. It was
wow.
crazy. Because, like, if I'm 80,000 years old and I get a call saying I need to owe taxes in iTunes, well, that must be the new Bitcoin, so I guess I got to pay it off like that, and
Yeah.
there you go.
There's a simple answer to this. Remove telephones from all senior citizens.
And then cars.
We would need to remove also thermostats. So
Jeez.
Will and I actually share a house with my grandfather, and he somehow managed to turn the heat down to 17 this morning
Crystal?
and
We
could
just
not
got one of
figure
those
out how
Nest
to turn
thermostats.
it back
Oh,
up.
okay.
Crystal? That's higher than I keep my house on purpose.
Okay,
You've
well,
always
we
liked
live in the
things like-
basement
We
of
live
the
in the
house, so
basement,
it was
yeah.
like
That's-
And, like,
eight.
apartments I found to be, like, just naturally warm due to their construction, but...
That's fair.
Yeah. I brought up another news story here. This is not really like anything too major, but it is probably one of the most one of the largest things to
pretty
happen
major.
to one of the largest things to happen in entertainment media in the last I'd say 50 years or so.
Yeah.
But it's more of a talking point in the like. So here's the headline: Disney buys Fox in a mega merger. There's a like more to it, but I think that's kind of what's the word I'm looking for? That's that's a word.
gist.
Monopoly?
No. The way this is written, and that it's kind of like deliberately written in a way to and garner a feeling when in reality,
Propaganda?
no, not propaganda.
Sensationalist?
No, sensationalist. Yes, it's sensationalizing the issue. In that this is a big deal, and it probably will shake the world. But I want to talk about more or less like this is a big thing going forward, and Disney is notorious when it comes to rights and copyright specifically. So now that Disney buys Fox and a lot of their TV division, a lot of their movie division, basically Disney has a lot.
Yeah.
They have a lot.
For 2018, we're no longer going to go see a movie. It's going to be called Seeing a Disney.
Well, you joke about that,
I
but
only
like
really watch
Disney,
Disney movies anyway. So.
Disney is
Well, a lot of big
launching.
movies this year, though. Marvel, Disney. Star Wars, Disney. Pirates of the Caribbean, which was apparently one of the biggest movies, despite
I didn't even
being a
realize it
flop.
got into theaters.
It got
Disney.
my boy Javier Bardem, even though it's Javier. But the point I want to make is that Disney is launching their own digital like video on demand service pretty soon. It's only a matter of time before all the Star Wars movies, all the Marvel movies, all the Disney movies on Netflix probably gonna jump ship and be on that thing exclusively. So that might be one of the largest video on demand platforms exclusively because they have the rights to so many of
Yeah.
these goddamn
We have
properties.
achieved singularity. There are no more entertainment companies in 2018. Disney is all. All is Disney. Don't cry, it'll be over soon.
Has anyone seen Demolition Man?
No.
Nope.
So there's a bit in Demolition Man how like there was the fast food wars, and like depending on where you live, they've edited it so certain fast food chain is the one that survives. And I think in the North American one, Taco Bell was the one that survived. So like
Okay with
Taco
that.
Bell is the bank in Demolition Man. In the future, Taco Bell is the bank. Disney is probably going to be the bank in the future at some point.
Yeah.
They're just going to get that
We'll
big.
be using Disney bucks.
Yeah, Mickey coins,
Yeah.
Mickey coins, mouse coins. They're shaped like his head. They're shaped like Mickey Mouse heads. That's cute. I want this now. They only go in certain Mickey Mouse slot shaped vending
Oh,
machines.
jeez.
Either way, this is something to kind of like it's just something to think about and how
Yeah, it's kind of scary.
a little bit, right?
Specifically in reference to the movies, I'm kind of sad that like the X-Men, well not X-Men, but all those mutant-oriented movies.
Mhm.
Like, I know that we're still gonna get some of them, but I thought that Fox was kind of starting to find their footing with that stuff.
The last
I like Gifted. That turned out
Gifted's
really
great.
good.
After-
Logan, Deadpool.
after X-Men 3, you could say it was basically more hits than misses.
Aside from like the core X-Men stuff was hit or miss, but all the like peripheral stuff
Yeah.
was really really good.
Can I just say one thing? If Disney does not make a point of censoring every swear word in their scripts with Goofy's yuck, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
Well,
Yuckin' pissed.
due to ratings, like even with ratings, Disney's probably not going to shy away from getting the occasional fuck in there. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
okay,
yuck
but
you up.
remember too that there is Disney produced movies that have swears. Disney is not like unanimous or not unanimous. That's what we're looking for. It's not all kids
if Disney
stuff.
now owns Deadpool, they're not going to censor Deadpool.
Well, and there's also movies and shows that they don't censor, so I don't think that's so much a worry. But it's gonna have. I'm just waiting for Deadpool to show up at Disneyland.
So can
okay?
we all just-
I want a
Yeah.
Deadpool ride.
That
Can we
would
all
be so
just
cool.
agree that Disney is becoming the new Skynet?
Yeah.
What's that
yeah.
from?
Terminator. I was playing the Terminator Salvation video game today for the channel. Man, that fucking piece of shit's a garbage
If
piece
Disney
of shit
buys a
trash.
robotics company, we are fucked.
Skynet with Mickey Mouse ears. It'll be adorable.
Jeez. Oh no!
Will.
Robo Trump!
Jesus!
Come with me if you want to believe it. On the
Robo Trump's just like the model that they use for all of them.
I mean,
Robo Trump is the only one who can fight off Disney.
see, we're making a funny Terminator reference, but like, there's something very RoboCop in all of this, and like this shiny corporate future also being somewhat, disgusting and
As I was
gross.
saying that, I was like, oh no!
Robo Trump is the new Terminator.
I mean, like, worst case scenario, you get like a very bad Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff. At worst, it's global annihilation by Trump. Wait, that's
I
a
don't
very
know, man.
likely
A bad
realistic
Five Nights at
possibility.
Freddy's ripoff sounds pretty terrible to
Yeah.
me.
Doesn't that just mean it's Five Nights at Freddy's?
Ooh, that was some shade.
There's a video game out.
I think I'm more comfortable with like Donald Trump being the new Terminator than.
No, Five Nights at Freddy's is I'm making jokes. It's actually pretty decent. So
I'm actually concerned about Five Nights at Freddy's because you guys talk about the only other context I've ever heard about Five Nights at Freddy's was when the second graders were watching it and playing it. We had to ban it from first, second, and third grade
Dude.
because they kept trying to play it at recess on their iPads.
There are goddamn Five Nights at Freddy's blind boxes you can buy at like every Hot Topic, HMV.
Stuffies?
Yeah, they're so like integrated in the whole like merchandise way. Like you can get them anywhere. They're
Isn't
not
it like super
I feel like-
inappropriate for like young kids though?
because it's a horror game.
But, like,
It's a
in
straight
terms of
horror
But
game.
there's like little kid
Is it a
T-shirts
horror game,
with
though?
Five Nights
Yeah,
at
it
Freddy's
is.
that we had to like.
I guess
never
it's.
played it.
I've
I
never
just
played
say-
it, but I've
Take it
seen
away.
Let's Plays and stuff.
You guys know,
it's kind of scary, but it's not like gory or anything.
in terms of marketing and kid appeal, though, it's basically almost Minecraft tier in terms of
Yeah.
a lot of the toys.
Yeah.
And
The saturation.
You
of that
guys
thing is
know
everywhere.
like the. You obviously all know like the button-down shirts from the '90s that were black and had the flames at the bottom.
The Guy
Can we-
Fieri.
Yeah, can we all agree that the Freddy Fazbear snapback is becoming the new that?
See, because you work in a mall, I feel like you get that a million times more than
Yeah.
I've ever seen it. So
It's not pretty.
yeah.
It is many things. Pretty is not one of them.
I had a fun Donald Trump joke, but the time has passed. Either way, that's
How many
the.
times are we gonna watch Leia kiss Luke? I mean, this is
Yeah, this is kind of weird actually. When I think about it.
I was just thinking that actually.
So I'm gonna ask again now that there are more people in the room. Has everyone in this room seen Star Wars?
Yep.
Truthfully,
Yeah,
truthfully,
Yep.
truthfully.
I've seen a Star Wars.
Okay, so that's what I mean. There's another person in this room. I don't want to talk about spoilers too heavily then.
Snape kills Dumbledore.
Either way, that's all the news I had prepared for this week. So if we want to talk about the year in review and how we felt about all that garbage, hell man, that was a pretty goddamn year. I guess
year.
we get the ball rolling kind of relatively easily. 2017 was a year for music, and that I listened to more new music this year than I ever have. Not ever, but like.
I
No, I would agree with
definitely
you.
did as well. Mostly because I got Google Play and I just listened to the new releases whenever they came out.
This was the year of Spotify
Yeah,
for discovery
Spotify
and stuff
too.
like that.
I'm thinking of switching to Spotify actually. I think the cost is about the same.
The premium is certainly worth it, as everyone who has it has told me. But
It's good. It's
good.
good service.
like
Spotify's
about
a
Apple
more
Music, so you
interesting
can just
stuff.
like download it and then you cancel your app and use the subscription. You get to keep your music.
really?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I gotta look into that though. But who wants to start this ball rolling? I got a few things I could start off by saying. I do have a list composed, but
I did not make a list.
I do have a list.
Do you know what the best thing about 2017 was?
go ahead.
I got married.
Oh yeah, I was gonna
That's
say.
not music, though.
Well, I was gonna.
Yeah.
It's
Say,
fine.
I
It was a
forgot.
music-themed wedding.
I forgot
fair.
because I was gonna say like, what did we all do this year? Do we have any accomplishments? And I'm like, I don't have any fucking accomplishments. Does anybody in this room have any accomplishments?
I mean,
Yeah, I got married.
Yeah.
I guess that's
That's
an
pretty
accomplishment.
impressive.
Yeah.
personally,
Throw some
yes.
money around,
Anything that
basically.
anyone
We
would
did not
care
go into
about.
debt for our wedding.
Yeah.
Woo.
That's the biggest accomplishment of all.
Hey, that's a pretty big accomplishment.
Mm-hmm.
I
Anybody
went
else?
to- I went to my first camping festival, and that was a time.
A time and a half. I didn't do jack shit. I launched this goddamn atrocity of a podcast.
I moved out of my parents' house.
Me too. Well,
That's
I didn't move out of
important.
my parents, but I moved into my actual like own apartment, which is so nice.
I guess I could also say I got a second job, but that's not really that fun. It's
Is
kinda
it
up
really
to-
a second job, or is it just the same old job again? in
Well, I
addition?
mean, it like there's no semantics to it. I am working 2 jobs, so. But I mean, it is a job I've done before, and I do relatively well, I guess, because I haven't been fired yet.
Some people say working 2 jobs, others say digging your own grave.
It was, it was all right. But yeah, so getting back to it, music. I do have a few things I want to talk about. Specifically, a lot of the bands that I like personally put out a lot of new music and material this year. Some like ridiculously so, like to the point where I'm like, holy shit, you guys can maybe take a breather here and there. But like Mastodon in particular put out 2 albums this year.
Right.
that
Yeah.
EP.
Well, I was gonna say one of those albums I thought was particularly great, and the other one I thought was particularly boring. And the one I thought was particularly boring was Emperor of Sand, their big studio album this year.
Right.
However, they put out this EP, this like 4-track EP called Cold Dark Place,
Yep.
which is so fantastic, and like it is a reason why I fell in love with Mastodon. It is this moody, very tight, very compact thought. It is a very complete thought pushed out in this nice little 4-track piece, and I listen to it, and it makes me remember why I fell in love with this band in the first place.
So like I listened to this. I think I was the one who mentioned to you when it first came out, because I didn't hear about the announcement. I just heard about
Yeah, you pointed it out to me.
I heard about Emperor of Sand, and to be honest, I really liked One Somewhere Around the Sun,
Oh, yeah.
and I liked some of the older ones, but like Emperor of Sand was just kind of like I think I listened to it once, and I'm like, this just isn't my thing. But when I forget the name, the one with
Cold Dark Place.
Cold Dark Place came out. So I'm bad with album names and song names, but I know the music in my head. I love that I love the dark and moodiness, but I love that like it feels to me at least a bit folkier than a lot of stuff they did. Like even if it's not necessarily the folk guitar sounds. When I say folk, I mean like kind of the folk metal. It definitely feels like it has some of the medieval vibe, and like it has character, and I
Like,
really like it.
There's an interesting, like, the progression of Mastodon is very strange, because they started off with like a very sludgy, like hard, like metal sound, and they became this kind of poppy, kind of very, very, I wouldn't say, like, it's very consumable music they've become. And I always liked that decision, because I never liked the earlier stuff. I like the more consumable, more poppy new stuff. But if there was like this line graph of progression, I think like 4th album, which is Crack the Sky, 4th studio album, which is Crack the Sky, and then like all the other ones going forward, and then like a little bit off to the side is Cold Dark
Daniel's
Place.
hands going up and then to the side.
Yeah, I don't have a physical representation, but basically, Cold Dark Place is kind of the in-between between Crack the Sky and Once More Around the Sun, or no, The Hunter rather came before that, because it sounds very much like that, and I like that sound a lot.
So James, what do you mean by it sounds medieval, or is that what you could
Well, like,
use medieval?
In terms of like, it's not folk metal by any stretch, but it's got kind of like that sort of medieval ethnic European folk sound.
Yes,
it's like they use some of those cadences. They use occasionally some of the instruments.
It definitely sounded very European to me as well.
it
It's a
sounded-
hard thing to place, but I got that feeling.
It sounds like almost like a hint of medieval fantasy in it, in terms of the
Oh,
writing.
more like fantasy.
Because
not like,
I'm thinking right now is like the dancer.
Basically, picture in your mind someone riding down like a dark forest path on a horse. You can see the breath rising from their mouth. They have a sword strapped to their side. Picture that in your mind. Whatever sound you think of is evocative of that album.
So not like actual medieval music,
No.
but like
power
Thematically.
medieval movie score music.
like medieval
power metal
literature and like
medievalness.
that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But not like as grandiose as like a
it has
Viking march or
it has
anything.
a
but-
drama to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is more subtle though. This isn't like the big epic themes. This is kind of like, the subtle ambience kind of stuff.
Like I said, I was thinking like actual medieval
Yeah, like lutes and stuff.
Gregorian chant.
there is a degree of theatrics to this that is not present in their other music, but at the same time it is still very much like it is I wouldn't say progressive, but it is a kind of technical metal album at its core. A very, very, very moody, very emotional technical metal album. Anyone else want to take the ball? Because I got a couple other things I want to talk about.
Well, this one's a little more
Hit me.
oriented towards the singles, but with like the new Portugal the Man album release.
Oh yeah.
Song of the Summer is Feel It Still.
Yeah,
right
feel
there.
Feel
That's
It
an
Still.
awesome song.
Honestly, Portugal the Man can be really, really hit or miss for me. Like, I got really sick of Feel It Still like super quickly
You also
because
work in a mall.
yeah, but it's like it's not like I disliked it, but I wasn't that stoked on it to begin with, not for any reason other than personal taste. But like the new one they just released this
really?
month is a fucking banger.
Can't say I heard it.
Holy
I need
shit.
to listen to that. I haven't heard about it.
I just need to look up the name
Yeah,
quickly
I
so you
found-
guys talk about something else for a
I
minute.
found Feel It Still on Google, like, when it was still just released as a single before it got, like, super huge and everything. I listened to that thing, like, 10 times that day.
See, I first heard it on MacGyver when they all come out like they're going into a casino, and every time
Yeah,
I
the
hear
new
it, all I
MacGyver
can
TV
think of
show.
is like
The new
spies
MacGyver.
walking into- Okay, the MacGyver show, I actually quite enjoy it. Like, I mean, you don't
It's a
go
nice,
in with
easy
any
watch.
expectation
But,
of
like-
like a thought-provoking show.
No, but like the
but he's
original
pretty-
show, the original show was a legendary show, so I was skeptical of them remaking it, and that's why I didn't watch it.
Oh, I think you'd like it.
And
It's-
Jumanji
but
is
you
a
go in
legendary
understanding
movie.
that it's
I'm
not.
skeptical of them
like
remaking
that's-
that.
I've not seen that.
On a side note, apparently Portugal the Man's whole album is about seeing Woodstock from the view of a child who goes.
Really?
I can neither confirm nor deny
Well-
if that is completely true, but it is a rumor I have heard.
I did hear that they have their own cannabis growing operation, so I mean, I don't doubt that for a second.
The song's called Live in the Moment.
Live in the moment.
It is so good.
Yeah, cool.
Like, it's
Mike
just
is
got
having
this...
a moment over there on the
If I wasn't afraid of like this, like the sound of us recording coming through the TV, which I'm pretty sure it does, and I don't want it to fucking configure right now, but I would be playing some of this shit.
Yeah, we'll try and link stuff if you're looking on YouTube. Though.
Yeah, like I mean, at the very least, I could edit like 10 seconds of each thing in underneath it at the very least, but you know.
But you can't like have, isn't that like
Or I can just play it over
Yeah.
my cell phone through the microphone.
No,
Well,
we're
here's the
not-
thing,
we,
if you
we can't
play-
play music on here.
Just a little bit enough, then you could get around that, but
I think copyright laws is like what 10% or something.
I don't. I've gotten around it with some videos, but like
For music samples, it's significantly smaller.
I'll be straight up
Like
with you.
5,
like
10 seconds.
here's the thing. Here's the thing.
What
Song!
you're using it for? I think in reviews you're allowed
It
to.
can even be less than that.
Yeah, like talking about it in a review context, you can play more than that and not be like you can.
Yeah.
People still get demonetized because it's all a computer algorithm, but like if you fight that claim, you will get it back. I will say though, episode 2 of the actual show, Terry Fox's skeleton would never was demonetized before it ever went live because probably the title. So I'm not worried about losing our monetization because of I mean the content. You know.
Do
I should make
enough
money
people
off this,
listen?
Daniel.
Once I reach a specific revenue, I can't talk revenue threshold, then yes. But at the moment, I need to grow that audience still. The iTunes and SoundCloud versions do not make any revenue, but I am making money for Google. I'm just not getting paid for it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Here's the thing. If you want to support independent content creators, always engage with the ads. That's where they get most of their money. So if you see someone running an ad on their videos and you want to help them out, click on that fucking ad even if you don't want to, because that's what makes them the money.
But then I get that same ad for 3 years on my Facebook page.
It's our cross the bear, Crystal.
The new
But
update
then
on
you just ignore
Apple
it every other
Safari
time.
has actually taken off all that like third-party tracking.
Oh, really?
The newest update. It is magical. My Facebook page is like so clean.
God, I
The
wish.
risk
I need that.
of
Safari's
Oversharing
actually
here.
good.
Is
now.
anyone else's YouTube getting bombarded with Cialis ads, or is that just
Yeah,
me?
yeah, no, that's also me as well. It's only like a 3-second ads, but it's
Because
still.
I'm just like, what are you trying to say, YouTube?
I haven't had a YouTube ad come up now for 2 years. Ad blocker. Every school should have one.
Every school should have one. I agree with
Yes,
that. I agree with that.
absolutely.
You can also have an app in Chrome that gets rid of the comments on the bottom because it's great when you show kids a video and then the
Important
bottom
too.
comments are penis, fuck, vagina.
Well, I'll tell you what,
this
I
person is
truly believe
horrible, and
I
it's
truly
like,
believe comments have no place on the internet. Like the idea of just placing a comment on a thing is in my mind so like get rid of it. It's never been useful. I don't think anybody's ever taken any constructive criticism from it.
Some of this for you. So.
Either way, like yeah, get rid of comments. Don't talk to me. Bottom line, don't talk to me.
Don't talk
Anybody
to
else?
anybody.
Anybody else want to talk about some
Communication is
music?
for losers.
Hey,
Well,
Yeah, I'll talk
The
about
new
music.
Kelly Clarkson song concerns me, only because it's been on every hour, on the hour, on the radio station I listen to.
is she the one who did Since You've Been Gone?
I haven't
She's
listened
one
to
who
it.
just says she was the first winner of American Idol.
just-
But her new song is called Love So Soft. And it's weird and it's gospel-ish.
It is a gospel song about her lover's flaccid penis.
See, that's also the image that went into my brain.
Love So Soft, you ain't had nothing softer. Break it, then you buy it. It is still gonna cost ya.
That
Wow.
I'm not
But
sure if I'm into
in
the same
gospel
things that Kelly
format.
Clarkson is.
I broke my peebus bone. What do you got for me, James? I see ya.
Okay, so I actually made a list here. I went and re-listened to all this stuff to make sure I actually thought it was worthy of being in the end of the year, because I went back to listen. This is with the exception of one really special thing on here. This is all new 2017 music. I actually went back through my year, and because this is a year I went and listened to a lot of new music, I actually have a lot of new music. It took me quite a while to go through. So there's a lot of stuff that I liked, but I guess for the stuff that made my year, I wanted things that I kept coming back to.
Yeah.
Not that I really liked, but then
That's
it kind
what
of
I was
faded.
thinking too.
So I wanted things that I would listen to, but when I didn't have anything to listen to, I would fall back to them.
If I may interject, actually,
Yep.
I've been listening to the Giant Bomb Deliberations of 2017, and they added a category specifically games that did not come out this year but meant something to you in this year, and I think that's a very important category to have in any like facet of this sort of thing. So, I'm glad you're bringing that up.
I have 9 things that came out this year, and 1 thing that did not come out this year, but I missed until this year, and it still made my year. Mm-hmm. So we're going to start off really fun on the list. I know Michael's going to squeal as soon as I say this, but one of the best albums of the year, Neil Cicerega, Mouth Moods.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
See, you put that on your list, and I was, I'm yelling from very far away. You put that on your list, and I was genuinely surprised, but also at the same time, I know he does good work, and I've heard his good work firsthand, so lay it on me.
It's fun. The mashups I thought were a lot more solid. Sorry, Michael's trying to do something here. It's kind of annoying.
I'm sorry I put you guys
Sort of
both in the death cell. I'm sorry about that.
I don't know. It was just a solid mashup album. His other stuff was really hit and miss for me. Like, he had a couple good songs, but a lot of the album was kind of in jokes and stuff. His new album was legitimately solid mashups through and through. Like, I can listen through the album.
Oh, go ahead.
What? Huh?
Yeah, I don't know what else there is to say. He did Harry Potter Puppet Pals, if you guys know that. He does music now.
Right.
It was good.
He has my favorite Tumblr blog of all time, and that it is a bunch of Windows 95 edits, and they are very sinister, very malicious in a way that they're very sinister and malicious in a way that I can't place, but they're almost like ethereal in their concept. And when I found out this is done by Neil Cicerega, I'm like, this is bizarre, this is frightening, but I like this a lot. Sorry, go on.
Okay, so number 2 on my list. This is not in order, by the way. I just wrote these down. Gorillaz, Humans.
Yes, very good album.
Gorillaz are pretty much always good, but
You mean Gorillaz, or as I like to call it, a bunch of other musicians featuring Damon Albarn?
I guess so.
I didn't know anybody who was actually in that band until that was pointed out to me. I'm like, oh, that doesn't really change things. I like to prefer them as the cartoon characters anyway.
Yeah.
Keep talking.
I don't know. Good album. This one I don't think anyone else here is really going to know, but this new album by Graham came out. Graham does... The only way I could really describe it is a combination of, like, speed metal and, like, Viking music. It's all, like, Norse mythology themed. It's electronic, though. It's cool. You guys should check it out.
That sounds in concept fantastic, actually, I gotta tell you what.
It was surprisingly good. He released 1 single a few years ago, and then he just kind of dropped the album by surprise, like, for debut album. And I just find I keep going back to it time and time again. Next album on my list, I don't even know how to describe it. This is the artsiest probably on the list. The other stuff tends to be pop or rock. This is just like very experimental instrumental stuff, and that is the album Fant 2 by NATO and Taishi. I recommend you guys go check it out. I don't really even know how to describe it, but it's kind of like a combination between like symphonic music and sci-fi and glitch. It's like 2 concept pieces, but it makes a 45-minute album.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Not much else to say. Okay, so
That's one of the things Neil Cicerega put up on his Tumblr blog. Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It's called, his blog is called Windows95tips.com, and it's all shit like this. This is my favorite.
So my one album on here that's not from this year, but
Sorry, James. Sorry. All right.
Daniel's stealing the show with memes here.
They're not memes. They're somewhat germane to what we're talking about. Anyway, go on.
So this album's not from this year, but I missed it, and it's so good. So I'm going to do a bit of leading here. This band, in the last 10 years, has probably been on hiatus at least 9 of the years. They came back with, like, they did one really good album, then they came back and just, like, blew it away. So much better. They were off for about 6 years, then they came back for, like, 1 year, released an album, then stopped touring again. They were on hiatus because their drummer is female and she wanted to have a family, which is completely reasonable. But that's why they've taken all this time off. Stop distracting everyone, Michael.
Ow!
Sorry, I didn't actually mean to hit you.
Yeah, fuck you.
That's
Fuck you.
Yeah, so they took all this time off for the drummer to have kids, and they just released this new album in, I guess it was the end of 2015 or start of 2016. It's literally the most perfection I could have ever asked from this band. The band's Maximum the Hormone. Like,
Oh, did not. That was a stealth reveal. I didn't see that
yeah,
coming.
I don't know. I loved their other albums, but I guess they decided while she was away on maternity leave they wanted to redo one of their first albums. but they started experimenting with electronic influences, and like they tried to make everything poppier, and it's just all the songs are hits. It's so good. It's just so good. That's all I can say. Max and the Hormone. You guys probably know them from Death Note. If you guys ever watched Death Note, they did the opening and closing theme.
I don't know them from Death Note, but I sure know them from fucking Dragon Ball.
Like Yagami dies
See, when you
like an
started
idiot in
describing
musical.
female drummer, I was thinking you're gonna go like White Stripes.
Uh,
I was kind of excited. I was like, White Stripes, at least something I didn't know about it.
Okay, next on
White
my
Stripes
list.
is more of a female non-drummer, if we're being honest.
Yeesh.
Next on my list, this person has 2 spots on this list because I love them so much. They are a Mexican DJ called Macross8299, and they do like vaporwave J-pop.
Yeah.
Oh, they dropped a new album this week. So I had their one album, Sakura Idol, which is probably my #1 most listened to album of this year.
Isn't that like the most popular vaporwave song is off of that album? I think they have
No.
another band. You know
You're
what
thinking
song
of
I'm talking
Macintosh Plus.
Oh, I am. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So, yeah, they released an album at the start of the year, and I've listened to it all year, probably 50, 100 times. There was a point where it was all I had on my iPod. On Christmas, they released another album, which is all Sailor Moon remixes, and they're honestly
Go on.
so good. So, like, he remixes games like L.A. Noire. It's like all video game remixes and anime remixes, and it's just like anything you'd want out of vaporwave and funk.
What are the chances he's on Spotify?
So that reminds me. Have you guys
Very high.
heard
he's
of Osaka Popstar?
No.
No, Osaka Popstar is like this weird supergroup of a bunch of punk rockers, including like Jerry Only from the Misfits and a bunch of other guys, and they do exclusively anime songs.
wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
it's
punk versions of them.
yeah. The fucking guy who started it, I don't remember his name, but he was somebody, and then he got a bunch of other somebodies who I can't remember to do a bunch of anime songs, and I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Neat.
Yeah.
Next on my list is the one I think that most of the people here are going to be like, yeah, and that's the new Paramore album.
Fuck yeah, I am.
Oh yeah.
It was really good.
That shit was good shit.
It is such an awesome mix of like super sad, depressing lyrics, but like the happiest, most upbeat music. I was like, I'm really sad right now,
Like,
and I'm snapping.
Rose,
you
like,
can't hear that.
thinking about it in my mind, Rose Colored Boy immediately comes to my mind because that has such just a fucking like it's got a bump and bass.
The hook, the
Yeah,
melody,
yeah.
so good.
So, like, I love Paramore. I've always loved Paramore. Unlike a lot of other people who really liked their older, like, you know, 'cause the first 3 albums were pretty rocky and almost like metal and emo. They released their self-titled album a few years ago, and to me that was my favorite. They experimented with grunge, they experimented with punk, they experimented with, like, Hawaiian ukulele.
Was that the one that Ain't It Fun came from?
That is the one Ain't It Fun came from.
Awesome.
And so I was really hyped that they put out this new album that was all, like, 90s and 80s and 2000s influenced.
Yeah.
Like, the one song, Pool, sounds like an early 2000s, like, pop chorus over, like, a more rocky song. Like, the
Yeah.
way they did the harmonies. And just, it was an all-around good album.
Because I was never that into Paramore, to be honest. Like, I was aware of them, then they were fine.
Aware more.
Yeah.
But, like, when we were in junior high, everyone who liked Paramore was kind of, you know, the edgier, the people into rock. And they kind of died down. But all of a sudden, I know all these people who were never into Paramore who were all of a sudden into Paramore because of this new album. And that's really cool that they're having, like, this weird second wind that's hitting a different demographic.
I'll tell you what, like, the reason why I like this album so much more, and that I've never heard any extensive Paramore catalog in any way, shape, or form, but this is the kind of music that I want to personally, in my own personal endeavors, make. Like, because this very, very 80s inspired, kind of very, very poppy. There's a lot of reliant on synth and like extreme, you know, synthy bass lines, that sort of thing. Very simple beats with this instrumentation evocative of that era is something I love so fucking dearly.
That actually kind of brings me into one artist that ended up being like a surprisingly big thing for me that I wasn't quite expecting, and I know all of you guys have heard me mention his name ad nauseum.
Is it gonna be?
Taylor
You know
Swift.
exactly what? Yeah, Taylor Swift.
I mean, I like Taylor Swift, so, you know.
T-Swizzle back again.
The old Taylor can't come to the phone right now.
Oh, is she dead?
Yep.
Oh, jeez.
Who is it,
She's
Michael?
making shitty dubstep ripoffs.
I mean, if she's
That was a few albums ago.
she's in the U.S., even she might not have been able to afford medical.
Yeah.
This is true.
But who is this artist that you're talking about, Michael?
Damn it!
Start with an L?
I feel like I sidestepped me.
Does it start
outing
with an L?
myself.
It's Short Dock, Long Walk, everybody.
Long
Yeah.
walk, short dog.
I said it right.
Little little dude out of, well, I'm not, average sized dude out of Vancouver.
Careful
I
what you
didn't
say.
know-
He knows you now. He
I didn't
knows
know
you.
you know him that. I didn't know you knew him that well, Michael. Jeez.
I went to his show in Calgary a couple of days ago, and it turns out that that's where like his hometown is, and he just
I thought you just said he was from BC.
He
he's based
operates
in
out of
BC.
there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But like
Okay.
every time he fucking for Christmas every year when he goes home to spend the holidays with his parents, he just plays a show in Calgary for his hometown audience, which
That's
is
so
really cool.
sweet. That makes me feel good inside.
Dude, his fucking mom and dad showed up and handed out sugar cookies to everybody.
And if that's not a reason to like somebody, I don't know what is.
That's
That's
very
yeah.
awesome.
My point is like
We
he's
just both say wholesome.
Yeah. No, I said awesome.
he's
Oh.
EDM for sure, but he's really inspired by classic video game music. So rather than just doing DJ sets like everyone else, he rolls in with like analog synths and keyboards and chaos pads and drum machines and produces the whole thing live, and it's really cool.
I respect that. Yeah.
If you have a chance to check him out, you absolutely should. And like you also kind of have to see him live to really
Yeah, I was gonna
Get
say
it
seeing
there.
that live would be like really cool.
yeah.
So
It's
James,
incredible.
James knocked off one of the things on my list, which was the Paramore thing. But I do have one more bit of music to talk about.
I have one more as well. So do
Oh.
you want to go first? Or
Well, mine's gonna be short because I feel like no one
Okay.
else in the room actually has had any dog in this fight. But has anyone heard the new Gojira album Magma?
I have not.
Unfortunately,
No.
not. No.
So going back to what I said about Mastodon and how I didn't like the new direction they went in as much as I thought I would, and I like the EP because it's kind of like an older style thing. Magma is the logical progression of Gojira's songwriting style up until this point, and I think it's fantastic. I love the direction they're going in. I want this to continue into the nth degree. This is the most every hit, every guitar chord, everything. There's a lot of emotion and you can feel it. Mario Duplantier, whatever his name is, he's still got it. He's still kicking ass, and there's a sound to Gojira that I've never encountered anywhere else in the way they kind of harmonize sung vocals and scream vocals, but they put the scream vocals so far in the back and they put so many filters over it. It's like this weird ethereal yelling coming at you from you don't know where, while this clean singing is going on
Awesome.
underneath it. And the subject matter of these songs is very, I wouldn't say like I found meaning in them when I don't think they're particularly about anything relevant to me, but I found the meaning in them that I was
know
able to
what
take
you
away
mean,
and learn from that. I think it's a very good album, and I think you should do yourself a favor and check it out.
Will do.
Especially if you didn't like previous Gojira stuff, this is a good place to jump in.
I mean, there's always stuff that can have meaning to you, even if it doesn't have meaning in itself, or the artist had no meaning.
But like,
Even the time you listen to something in your life can have meaning.
knowing
Yeah.
what I do about Gojira and the way they do their things, I no doubt believe that this is all based on something in their personal lives, but because it doesn't have any bearing to me, I was still able to find a meaning that I can latch on to.
Yeah. Speaking of such things, the album I was gonna mention that I kind of keep coming back to a lot this year is "You're Not as Blank as You Think" by Sorority Noise. It's
Never heard of it.
it's really awesome. Like
I'm drawing a blank on
again,
it.
it doesn't. They've only ever actually had one album before this one, I think. But like, it just hits you. It's this cool, almost contemporary emo punk sort of sound, and like, it's hard to describe exactly, but like, it has a lot of themes of mental illness. I've never really suffered from such things, but it just makes you kind of feel what that feels like somehow. But it's still very optimistic in a lot of moments, which I think is really cool.
I do like it when an artist can share an experience, but also share a message of hope, or at least
Yeah.
some way that things will be better.
And just the music itself is just it hits that home really well too.
I think
For all
an
of you
artist-
who are wondering, the album they released before You're Not As Blank As You Think was titled You Actually Are As Blank As You Think.
Is that a real thing, or are you just
No,
throwing out
no,
fake facts? 'Cause
I
I
think
was
artists have to be careful when they do stuff like that too, though, because they have like Rachel Platten. Period. Rachel Platten, anything.
Describe.
Rachel Platten fight song. If you don't do it the right way, it just comes off the mental illness.
Oh
and
yeah,
talking about
yeah, no,
hope
it,
and stuff like that.
it comes off very disingenuous, and then you're like,
Not even
That's true.
disingenuous. It's just painful.
well, like if someone were to get up on stage and say like, oh, I've suffered with schizophrenia my entire life, and they are the most neurotypical person on the planet, they're a shitty person, but at the same time, people with mental illness can talk about it and still kind of get it wrong.
That's one
So
of, that's
no
one
one
of those
is.
songs that's very
no one is
like,
right.
That's very
100%.
hashtag relatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's in that kind of empty poppy sort of way.
Going back to you for a second, I was tempted to throw on like just a fake news story, and I hate that the fake news is a thing now, but like while we're going through our week, just like, oh, Nintendo stocks skyrocket 30% and they buy America, and just we all play it off totally straight and just try to
Real fake news.
And it was
Disney and Nintendo go into cahoots with each other.
it's more likely. Well, before Square Enix gets their say in that whole thing, it's more likely than you think. Either way,
Nintendo runs Trumpbot.
Nintendo partnered with Universal though, so like for movies and for the theme parks. So
okay.
they're going Universal, not
is
Disney.
oh, that's
secretly
true.
owned by
And
Disney.
the fucking Minions people are making the Mario movie.
Oh God.
Yeah.
We do not need another Mario crossover with obnoxious creatures. Rabbids was enough. Leave the minions
Hey, I
where
gotta-
it is. Stop beating off that dead horse.
I got a fun hypothetical for y'all.
You know that game was actually one of the games of the year for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was really good apparently.
Everyone was like, "Oh, Mario and Rabbids, that looks gross," but then it ended up being like a tactical shooter like XCOM, and it ended up being one of the most difficult and one of the most unique games of the year.
I know. I just hate the rabbits.
Okay, so I got
Well,
a hypothetical for y'all. Which is more? Okay, Porgs or Ewoks? Which one is the Minions of the Star Wars universe?
Ewoks.
Neither. They're both amazing and wonderful.
Ooh, okay, all right, this is
There's
interesting.
also probably people who think the minions are amazing and wonderful, Crystal.
Like
we
me.
also have not so
Yeah,
much.
The
5-year-olds
Minions movie was a
and
good
Daniel.
movie.
The Minions movie was a good movie.
It was a good
Moon landing
movie.
was faked.
The moon landing was faked, and
The moon landing was
Yes.
minions.
No, Michael.
problem with-
In Minions, they go to the studio and see Stanley Kubrick filming the moon landing.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
actually was in the movie.
yeah. It's fucked
The
up.
problem with Minions is not the Minions in the movie. It's the fact that you can get Tic Tacs that are
So-
Minion flavored.
And the
you
mom
can get-
jokes on the
Ew.
Minion Facebook.
Minion
It's not
flavored?
Minions.
Minion flavored
banana
Tic Tac
flavored.
sounds like the grossest thing ever.
That does sound awful.
But realistically, it's not the Minions themselves. It's all the marketing around the Minions.
yeah.
So my family
Same with the
really
Porgs,
likes
though.
Star Wars. They like them a lot more than I do.
Don't
But
forget the Porgs
in
are
terms of the Ewoks versus Porgs thing, my family actually had opinions on this.
Oh,
'cause
good.
For my family, I asked people how they rated the new Star Wars movie. This isn't going to be spoilers here, but I asked my old roommates and my family how they'd rank the Star Wars movies. All three of my family members, my parents and my sister, unanimously agreed that Star Wars Episode 1 was the best movie. And this is because for my parents, they actually do personally believe that Jar Jar fills the same lovable, cute animal role as the Ewoks and the Porgs. So my mother actually said that anyone who likes Episode 8 but not Episode 1 is a hypocrite because Jar Jar and Porgs are the same.
I disagree very strongly.
I just found
The
out
Porgs
that they were
had-
called porgs.
The Porgs
You
had
saw the movie, man.
I know.
Twice.
Did they
us-
say porgs in the movie ever?
no. That's never mentioned. It's all marketing that tells us that those are Porgs.
Yeah, see?
Okay.
But I will
Fuck
tell
you
I
guys.
will tell you this much: like the Porgs have no plot significance whatsoever, other than Chewbacca decides not to eat one.
So
Yeah.
The-
Chewbacca barely has plot
The
significance.
Porgs' plot significance was getting me to go see that movie.
No,
That's what the
so
Porgs'
they're
plot
actually-
significance was.
the one thing that I can give the Porgs credit for is that they actually were an afterthought. I was reading up a
I was
director's
telling them
interview.
about this.
Yeah.
If you're telling us the
So-
same thing,
They didn't plan to have the Porgs. It wasn't like the Ewoks. The Ewoks were definitely like, we need something cute. When they were filming on the island for Star Wars Episode 7 and 8, they had puffins. It was a nature reserve. And apparently the puffins kept getting in the way of the shooting and
they're
doing
just
stuff.
fucking everywhere.
They just didn't feel like it was worth the time to edit them out or do anything. So they actually CG'd over these puffins. They weren't planning on marketing them, but they ended up doing it because they couldn't edit out these puffins.
And then they added one with Chewbacca.
Yeah,
And it was
the-
adorable.
The one with Chewbacca pretending to scream was really cute.
It was so cute, I
Yeah,
loved it.
that was pretty,
You know,
pretty perfect.
As for what your parents think, though, when the Porgs start talking in, like, the most obnoxious, forced accent ever, then I'll agree with them on their fucking point. But
But Jar Jar Binks' role was for the kids who were watching
But
it.
also,
Not true.
kids are
Star
stupid.
Wars is
Crystal,
is a kids
you
movie
are
in
aware-
the long run.
The original plan for Jar Jar, and this has actually been revealed in the original scripts, which have now been published online. Jar Jar was supposed to be the Sith Lord.
I can see it.
And then people hated him, and they scrapped the plot and put Count Dooku in as his replacement.
now I will say, like,
Interesting.
even with all that, Jar Jar does have a pretty big plot significance, and
He does.
like if he didn't have that, then I would say yeah, the Porgs and Jar Jar.
Jar
are
Jar
totally the same
single-handedly
thing.
gave the power over to the Senate.
He did. He was the guy who made the Empire possible.
He was Donald Trump. Talks the same too.
He does.
He's still called Donald
Same color,
Trump.
really.
You got more to say about music, or you want to move on to something else?
Oh, I've one brief thing. We actually blew through my list pretty fast here. So, I don't know if this is my number one for the year, but it's definitely up there. And this was actually my number one last year, so I feel like, I'm being brainwashed by them. But Camellia won it for me again this year. Last year he released this amazing album, Symphosonia, which is just... it's almost like fantasy music mixed with classical piano, mixed with like a bit of dubstep, and it was really magical.
Can confirm it was great.
This year, he released this single, Small Steps, which sounds nothing like any of that. It's almost a straight-up top 40 pop song, but it just hits me. I just really like the vibe. And he did this really interesting thing where he was able to synthesize this lead sound that almost sounds like bells, or like, but like, you know, Indonesian classical gamelan bells. And like, it's only a 1.5-minute song, because they've only released like a single edit of it for mixes. But I just find to keep going back to it. It's really groovy. If you guys look it up, Camellia, Small Steps, good song.
I'll give that a look up and see if I can add a link to that. Movies. A lot of movies came out this year. Holy shit, a lot of movies came out. And more surprisingly, I was able to see most of these movies.
I think personally I was a bit too distracted by the Marvel stuff.
Getting married as well.
Of that too, so I was not seeing movies for a couple months.
We did go to a movie, like, 2 days before the wedding?
I guess what did we see? We were,
Didn't you go see Guardians? Wasn't that? No, that was before that.
That was before. What did we go see? What
Homecoming?
Homecoming came
Spider-Man,
out.
yeah. Spider-Man.
Wait,
I still haven't seen fucking Spider-Man yet.
Wasn't there a
Salty
Star Wars
shit.
that came out 2017?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Porgs, man.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
We were just talking about that.
Oh, Michael's making a funny bit. Yeah, it's called Rogue One.
Let's not talk about Rogue One.
Looking back, I don't like Rogue One as much as I did, but I do
That's
think
happened
it's
to me
still a
with
good
for
movie.
all the new Star Wars movies.
Honestly,
actually.
though,
like I love
just
them in the moment,
if we're
and
talking-
they are great. But then I look back and it's like, there were these problems and these problems. But
If we're
I can
talking
explain
about-
my feelings about Rogue. Sorry, go ahead.
If we're
Michael.
talking about Rogue One right now, like, honestly, I get the criticism that it's, like, not that great of a movie, but it's kind of doing the Avengers thing where the goal wasn't to put anything out that was, like, artistically challenging or making a particularly deep statement. It's just a fun movie with a lot of space battles, well put together, looks really good.
the goal was to fill in that section of the story.
That's
Exactly.
actually not my issue with it at all.
But I just feel like, in that regard, it fulfilled its purpose. It wasn't a great movie, but it didn't have to be.
So the biggest issue I had with Rogue One, which oddly enough, the closest comparison I have for another movie that I had these same issues with, was Finding Dory. And
Cool. Okay.
that is that there was rather than having I'm not saying everything has to have a big overarching plot, but both of them felt like they were appealing to people with short attention spans by adding a significant amount of really fast jumps. I can't hear what you're saying, Crystal. Sorry.
She's whispering for the audience and not for you. That's the joke she's doing there.
I felt like it jumped back and forth really fast between like artificial conflicts that seemed made up for tension points and then quick resolutions, to the point where it felt like they were trying to hold our interest. Like in Finding Dory, we fell into this kid's playpen. Oh, we're okay. Oh, there's ink. Oh, it's okay.
Now, I will
a
say-
bird. Oh, Rogue One did the same thing. Oh, we can't stop the bombers. The radio's here.
So
It
did
felt like
episode 8, actually, now that you brought it
Episode
up.
8 was a bit like that too.
Yeah, I did a lot of that jumping.
Now, I will say...
It felt like none of the stuff was consequential to the plot and just existed to try and keep the short attention span and the excitement.
I will say, particularly to Rogue One's credit, if you put Donnie Yen in your movie, I will watch it any day of the week. So,
Do you want to watch Iceman with Donnie Yen?
hell yeah,
It's
I
the
do.
worst movie I saw in 2016 by far.
A friend, a coworker, I guess, was trying to tell me about this movie with Donnie Yen in it, and there's a scene where they try to take over this like feudal lord's castle, and he ends up just throwing one of his concubines at them in this weird like schlocky, like here, just fucking, all right, yeah, this thing right here, this fucking guy right here. Sorry, I had to look up my favorite fucking Donnie Yen suplex of all time. Oh yeah, it's just the way he hits, turns, and then there it is.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, I love this guy so much.
Daniel, I expect that to be your New Year's resolution.
Learn how to do German
this
suplex?
At the end of 2018, yes.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm planning on taking a boxing course. We'll see how that goes.
Cool.
So
Throw Michael around, it'd be interesting to see.
this new Donnie Yen movie came out. It was a big deal, huge budget Donnie Yen movie. This is the actual premise. I'm not kidding you. It's like feudal Chinese warlords fighting, and they're going to betray this one guy. And all of a sudden there's an avalanche where they surf down the mountain on their shields, snowboard style, get frozen, and then get cryogenically woken up in modern day.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
In order to get
Oh, yeah.
back, they need to build a time machine out of this golden wheel and insert the petrified penis of the Indian god Shiva into it in order to go back. This is a real movie. Yes! So I got this movie and watched this movie, and the end of the movie, they just found the time machine, and so they're shoehorning a sequel.
Oh my
but
God.
the movie was so bad it might be canceled now, and I I got so invested in this insane plot, and I want Iceman 2. Please, Chinese movie company, if you hear me, I want to see Iceman 2. Don't cancel it.
China got the money. China don't care. China got the money for that. They'll be okay.
Us Donald Trump.
It's been in production for like 4 years, so I'm starting to get kind of worried.
I was gonna say, I'm like, how recent is it? They say it's featuring Star Wars as Donnie Yen, but either way.
Iceman was maybe like 2013, 2014, and then started production right away.
I'm gonna go down my list of movies that I have seen, and then if anyone kind of has seen them, maybe interject. But has anyone seen Baby Driver?
Yes.
Has anyone seen Fate of the Furious?
No.
Has anyone seen Life, starring Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal? God, that's a bad movie. Has anyone seen Murder on the Orient Express?
No.
Has anyone seen Blade Runner?
Yes.
Has anyone seen Dunkirk? Has anyone seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yeah.
Tiny Groot.
Okay.
So I saw Blade Runner. There's one movie on that list.
Yeah.
I saw like nothing this year.
I am
Tiny
fortunate to have
Groot's
seen more, but I'm also counting like there was a couple movies I saw, like some Netflix originals and stuff. That, I put this on here. There was this movie called Win It All, starring Jack Johnson, which I want to watch again because I think it was entertaining, but I don't know if I liked it all that much when I watched it. But it was good, funny movie
Jack
about
Johnson,
gambling.
like the acoustic music guy?
No, he's kind of getting his moment right now. He was in the new Mummy movie. He was Tom Hanks's Tom Cruise's funny sidekick guy.
Tom Hanks never will be great.
Yeah. Oh god, the Mummy. Didn't see that piece of shit.
The new one?
Yeah.
No.
Yeesh.
I'm just kind of imagining Tom Hanks in the role of Tom Cruise in that movie, though.
Movie probably would have done better.
And in terms of Netflix originals, the one that's I thought was going to be really bad and actually surprised me genuinely the most in how much I enjoyed it was Daddy of Light.
Yeah, you were telling me about this thing.
So it's
Going back to how Daddy is so overly sexualized.
it's a half machinima of Final Fantasy XIV and half drama. And the premise is like this dude's dad is dying and quits his job, and the son, they're really, like, the son really wants to be friends with his dad and get along, but like they've just been really cold to each other the whole life. So he buys his dad a PS4 to play Final Fantasy XIV, and then does this huge plot where he makes a character in game and stages it so that they become best friends in the game without him knowing in real life. It actually was really good and really sad and emotional, and I was surprised because I've never played Final Fantasy. I never really watched Japanese dramas, never really watched machinima. It was actually surprisingly good. It's like maybe 6 or 7 episodes, so it's pretty.
the premise
you can binge
alone-
watch it in one sitting.
I don't know why, but that reminds me of the Lego movies.
Oh,
I
Holy
Yeah.
shit! Can I go back
You
for a
haven't seen the
second and
Lego
talk
movie?
about the Mummy
Oh, you
for
need to
like
watch
2
the Lego
seconds
movie.
more?
Okay.
go on.
Do you think the producers are ever sat like in their offices like with their cocaine and laughing at the poor parties, and they're looking back on the footage from the Mummy and they're just like, "Oh shit, we hired the wrong Tom."
My favorite thing about that is that the Universal tried to start a monster movie cinematic universe twice, and that this one tanked it the second time. So
Wait, like
Wasn't
the Mummy
Pacific Rim
fighting
supposed to be part of
Godzilla?
it?
no, I don't know about that, but there was Dracula Untold, which bombed. So they like, all right, we're not going to make that one into the franchise. Try again with the Mummy. That one bombed, so they're not going to make the franchise with that either.
What happened to the Kong Skull Island monster franchise too?
That's going
Yeah.
on still. That's the legendary monster movie.
Oh, that's
series.
different.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Apparently, yeah, Del Toro or somebody was talking like, yeah, Pacific Rim and Godzilla could totally fight. We're down for that. And then someone at Legendary is like, yeah, we're down for that too.
That is
Pacific
the
Rim 2
best
actually got a trailer
fucking
shoot, didn't
idea
it?
I have ever
Yes,
heard in my
Pacific Rim
life.
2 has a trailer. John Boyega's in it, and he looks
Yeah.
great. I'm glad he's getting work too, because Attack the Block's a pretty cool movie.
Can we just fucking have like Pacific Rim fighting like King Kong, the Mummy, Godzilla, Mothra, just like this.
Donald Trump.
The Mummy's the one in there that's killing me right now.
Well, going back
The
to
Mummy's
John
probably the most
Boyega,
powerful
Yeah,
of
we
all of them,
saw
honestly.
John.
Circle.
We saw John Boyega in a movie the other day called The Circle.
with Emma Watson and Tom Hanks, actually.
Yeah.
If you guys haven't seen it, it is on Netflix.
Tom
It's
Hanks is basically
actually
Steve Jobs, evil Steve Jobs.
Oh, I've heard of this movie. I have heard
Very
of this.
Tom
interesting.
Hanks is making Tom bank.
I looked at this movie and I'm like, I like this, but I feel like a lot of media has this very like weird anti-tech message, even though Silicon Valley is kind of a shithole right
It's
now.
not actually anti-tech at all.
It is up
It's-
until the very last moment.
Well, not even. It leads you there. I don't know. I don't want to ruin
Yeah,
it
up
for
until the
anybody,
last
but,
moment.
Watch it. It's good,
Well,
and
like-
it's worth it.
I say that specifically because Black Mirror season 4 is now up on Netflix for anyone who's
I
involved.
started watching that.
I just started watching Black Mirror actually,
I-
2 episodes in.
So like having seen the whole series, is that like kind of prevailing like "dur her fire bad Thomas Edison was a witch," to quote that one fun quote kind
You
of thing.
mean he wasn't?
Yeah. There's
I mean, did you see that
anytime-
episode of Bob's Burgers where they did the Thomas Edison musical? Motherfucker sang without his own voice.
Whoa. Whoa, what? Alexander Graham Bell couldn't even do that shit. Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I also love like the absolute silence that ensued when I made that. Bob's
Well, I don't think
Burgers
anybody
reference.
actually has except for
I don't know if
you.
any of us have actually seen Bob's Burgers.
Oh, I love Bob Burgers. It's
You're
one of
all
my
a
favorite
bunch
TV
of
shows.
fucking heathens.
I just haven't seen anything recent because I'm not keeping up with it.
Oh,
Well, that's a song I have not heard in a very
Crystal,
long
we've
time.
just triggered the copyright.
Yep.
It's 2016.
Come get me,
Oh,
fuckers!
yeah.
I
It's
dare
less
you.
than
All my
10%
friends
if they
are
manage to
heathens.
find-
Take it, and now we're demonetized.
We are running a little bit long, so I want to keep this kind of back on track. I will say one thing that might kind of throw people. So I want to get some fighting going. I think Guardians of the Galaxy was pretty disappointing. Number 2.
Most
Didn't like it very
Marvel
much.
movies of 2017 were somewhat disappointing.
Tiny Groot. I was happy.
Okay.
Tiny
Thor-
Groot, the
Thor was better
Porgs,
than I expected.
and
Thor was
the
worse
Ewoks
than I
need a movie
expected,
altogether.
actually. I did not like it very much.
I mean, my expectations were so low after Thor 2 that like.
That's true.
But
So-
okay, Thor Ragnarok, it was cute and adorable.
It
Okay,
was-
see, I
it
don't,
was
I
a
don't
lot of
watch it
fun.
for its content. I watch it for
I get
stupid
that.
jokes and
Jeff
cutesy-
Goldblum was actually like.
Jeff Goldblum
He
was
wasn't a
hilarious.
meme. He was
great.
actually good.
He was great.
Like I will say to Guardians' credit, Kurt Russell was good. It's just Guardians 1 I think is my favorite Marvel movie because I latched onto it more than everything else because I don't know. But watching this one, it didn't capture me the same way as the first one. I love it. Like it was entertaining. I had fun with it. I still say it's
Yeah,
a good
pretty
movie.
much.
But
Yeah, it was lots of fun.
other than that, if I were to throw my runner into a movie of the year, I'd say fucking Fate of the Furious. That movie is a trip from start to beginning. I love that goddamn movie so much. I
Start
wanna
to
watch it again.
beginning, huh?
Yeah, start to beginning.
I don't know what my movie of the year would be. Like, I wrote down a list of movies that I went to that I thought were worth talking about, but none of them really jumped out to me as movie of the year. So, like, Star Wars was pretty good with issues, but I mean, all the Star Wars are. I'm not going to fault them for that. It was a good, as a Star Wars movie, it was a good Star Wars movie. Disaster Artist was good as a meme following The Room, but I don't know if it would be a good movie for people who haven't seen The Room. Mm-hmm. Thor was fun. Triple X was bad.
You saw Triple X? Holy shit!
The opening scene of Triple X did make me laugh quite a lot. Overall, it was an action movie. It was pretty good, but I wouldn't call it movie of the year. I saw Mother, which was
Really? I don't know anyone else who's seen it.
that was. Did you saw it, Will?
No, I haven't.
Also
we've
has
seen the
Javier Bardem
trailers.
in
I
it.
think we watched
Curious
the trailer
about
like
it.
4
It was
times.
really. It felt like a fever dream, and it ended up actually being very. It's a retelling of the Bible story, actually.
Well, I remember
Wait, which Bible story?
Adam and Eve.
All of it.
Isn't it?
Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel. Like
So I
whoever
learned
I forget the name, but like
Jennifer
the main,
Lawrence.
Jennifer Lawrence plays Mother Earth, and the guy is playing God. And it's
Oh.
literally like they give birth to Jesus in
So
the movie.
I've heard some distressing things about this movie. And that first thing, what's his name? Darren Aronofsky. He is like he's dating Jennifer Lawrence, and
Ooh.
like he's very 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 weird about that. But like in a bunch of interviews, he's like. On multiple occasions, like, yeah, this movie isn't about anything, and then he says, no, this movie's a biblical story. He's like, no, it's not a biblical story. So he's been very back and forth on what this movie actually means.
It's very clearly a biblical story. Like
Yes.
they even show the missing rib when
There's a lot of
from Adam, pardon me, when Cain and Abel show up. And
there's a lot of visual allegories and stuff, but he seems like kind of a slimy kind of guy. That's not really like a knock on the movie or anything, but like he goes back and forth about this movie. Then he's like, yeah, man, I just made this movie because I want to do a movie with my girlfriend. And I'm like,
it was. I enjoyed it, but it was also very, very hard to watch because it was so dense, and like it went very fast. All of a sudden, riot police are there, and I don't
babies
think
get it.
I don't. There was a very interesting scene where, so she gives birth to the baby, who's baby Jesus, and then God steals it, and then the baby's neck literally like snaps out of nowhere, and all of these people just start eating the baby.
Babies get it.
That reminds me of
Neon Angel.
Neon Demon?
Neon Demon.
That
That
was
is
a
a
Catholic
stupid
theology.
movie.
that
Hey.
was a trip.
The best part about the Neon Demon thing is that the guy who made Drive made that movie, and Drive is like the only good movie he's made apparently. Yeah, because he's made a bunch of movies and none of them are as good as Drive. I've heard.
Yeah, I
It
would.
was just I just wanted to sleep after that movie. It was
Neon Demon. I wanted to like puke after that movie. That
Yeah,
was
that's
just,
true. Just
That was
visually.
fucked up.
I will say, like Dunkirk was good, Blade Runner was good, Star Wars. I had a lot of fun. I had fun every second I was there. But like Fate of the Furious was just so. It's about family. It was always about family, and I've been inundated. I'm in the family now, and I used to think the family was stupid, but now I know that family is all that we have.
I haven't been watching them because I really want to watch it as like a marathon, as
Yes.
a story. I've only seen Tokyo Drift.
I love
That's
That was
right,
also
right.
the only one I'd ever seen until I watched them all.
So
Yeah.
Lindsay, who's here in the background, at some point, me and her marathoning all 8. I think still a plan.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Sounds good.
One day.
So Daniel, if you're all into the family now, do you follow Dwayne Johnson on Instagram? Because he's
do.
kind of awesome on Instagram.
He's my dad. Dwayne Johnson is my dad.
I love following him on Instagram. All throughout the Jumanji thing, he kept making videos just completely razzing on Kevin Hart. Yeah, we should go see Jumanji next week.
I want to go see Jumanji as well.
Go see Jumanji with us, Daniel?
I heard it was
Maybe.
actually like not bad. I heard it's actually not bad, and they actually make the Rob Williams as a plot point. It is actually tangentially a sequel, I believe.
Oh.
Well,
I
no,
thought it was
because he
supposed to
said
be a
it's
total
not a
reboot.
sequel. Well, according to Dwayne Johnson, the producer, it is not a sequel. It is a complete reboot of it using the general concept of a game.
The only reason I say this is because when I went to go see Star Wars, they had the preview for Jumanji. And one of the things
Why
they
are we
were
all
talking
saying like
about is that they go to Robin Williams'
how it's
jungle
spelled.
hideout from the first Jumanji in the movie.
Jumanji.
So
Yeah.
Jumanji.
there's at least tangential ties. It's not a direct
Okay.
sequel. By
I
any
feel like
means,
you
so-
have to make some of those references back because, I mean, the people going to see it are people, for the most part, our age who
There's a lot of
knew it
kids,
as kids.
But like it's not for us though. It's for kids who want to have this new story that the parents can still relate to.
I thought that's why Zathura was a thing.
We're not talking about
We're not
Zathura.
going to talk about that.
What is
Zathura was-
That
We're
was
not talking about
Kristen
No, we don't
Stewart
talk about
before
Zathura.
Kristen Stewart
I wouldn't
was
say
Kristen
it's a
Stewart.
sequel, more like a sister movie, but it's like the same concept of a board
Spiritual
game
successor.
okay.
Thank you very much.
by the same creator,
Hey,
I do
if
believe.
you really want to see it, I do technically have it on DVD, so if we're ever feeling like
Okay.
getting drunk and watching a terrible movie, we can do that.
We'll get wine drunk. tonight.
We got more to say about movies, or we want to move on to the video games?
I don't know if
Video.
I have more. Blade Runner was pretty. Blade Runner.
Blade Runner was
Lots
very
of-
pretty.
This
Did
movie
Atomic
had a
There
Blonde
lot
was
of
a
come out
Star
this
Wars.
year, or was that last year?
Atomic Blonde did come out this year.
Atomic
Yeah.
Blonde. We just watched that recently. We
Okay.
bought it on iTunes. I actually
Except she fell asleep.
no.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, whoa.
Whoa.
Put her on
I fell
blast.
asleep after a very long day of teaching. Okay, everybody falls asleep after a long day
Yeah,
of
but
teaching.
yeah, I'm not sure if you can. okay. Go
I
ahead.
rewatched it.
Oh, you did
I
now.
have
okay,
seen it
okay,
now.
okay. Okay.
Well, I'm also one of
It
those
was a
people
long
who
day
love
of
those
teaching,
movies.
guys. I swear.
I'm just one of those people who love movies where
You like spy
the
movies.
women get to be badasses.
You
and
like spy movies,
Salt.
too.
I like Salt too. I know
one of
most
those
people don't like
people who-
Salt, but
I've never seen Salt, but I heard
movies.
things about it.
I like Salt. But like I said, a lot of people don't. I also like the original Laura Crofts. I'm very excited for the new one that's coming out.
I
I
too
enjoyed
would
the original
describe.
Tomb Raider. The original Tomb Raider movies were not that bad.
See, they're not. Exactly.
I've only seen the one with Gerard Butler.
I've never
was just
seen
gonna-
any of
The,
them.
the second
Those are
one,
the original.
the second
Okay.
one was really cool with some of the plot, how it mixed in kind of sci-fi and like.
Yeah, see, I like them, but a lot everybody's like, no, and it might because it's Angelina Jolie. But the same thing with Salt. People had the same issue with Salt, and I'm like, but I like it, and it's females getting to be badasses, so I appreciate that.
What
What-
did you think of Atomic Blonde, though?
Oh,
You got off topic.
Atomic Blonde, yes. I liked Atomic Blonde.
Wasn't
I-
James
I enjoyed
McAvoy
it
in
quite a
that?
bit.
Yes, he
Yes, he
was.
was.
Has
Yeah.
anyone seen Split?
Not
it's
yet.
an M. Night Shyamalan movie? No?
I want to.
Yeah, aren't
the-
they starting a cinematic universe or something with that?
There is a certain character that shows up in that movie that makes you go, oh, this is actually something else.
Oh, with that Bruce Willis movie, right?
Well, so Bruce Willis from Unbreakable shows up in fucking Split and was trying to...
Oh.
Does
Unbreakable.
everything have to be a cinematic universe now?
I mean, hey,
Because that's what's paying.
when I heard about that, I'm like, oh shit, M. Night Shyamalan made a good movie and also it's a sequel to another good movie? Whoa! And then my hat came off. But, what do you got, James?
So I actually just remembered another movie. This is not a new movie. This is going back to what we talked about
Movies
movies that
to
came
you.
out and movies that meant something. The movie of the year for me, I've officially decided this. This movie's maybe, well, this is two movies. It's a franchise, of course. I think they're like 5 and 10 years old. It's going to go to the Raid franchise.
Oh, fuck yeah, The Raid.
Those were the best movies I saw this year. The Raid 2, especially the ending, I'm not going to spoil it for you guys, but some of the fights at the ending were the best movie fights
If-
I have ever seen in my life.
If
Better
that,
than V for
go-
Vendetta.
Way better.
Better
that-
than Kingsman's
Yes.
fights. Oh.
Way better.
if that clip
Kingsman's
of...
fights were awesome.
Kingsman was one.
By the way,
Kingsman had good
Fight
choreography.
Kingsman 2, very good.
Crystal, these were the most intense and amazing and real movie fights I've ever seen. All the actors in these were actually world-class martial artists.
I will say...
Oh, okay, so
if-
actual quality content as opposed to amusing to watch.
there's
content.
this one fight where they use this really brutal Indonesian martial arts style these guys are trained in, and they both end up getting hand scythes in both hands, and holy shit, man. Go watch The Raid and The Raid 2. They are amazing. The only negative thing I have to say is that there's this one amazing martial artist in it that the director liked so much he played different characters in both movies, and it's not clear. So
I will
Oh,
say,
okay, good to know.
if you like that clip of Donnie Yen doing the suplex, The Raid is definitely for you. If that did anything for
Absolutely.
you. Yeah, so
And that's movies for me. The Raid wins movie of the year.
Anybody want to talk about movies? We'll move on to video games.
Video games.
Some fucking 2017 was possibly the most stacked year for video games in the last 20 years. Holy shit!
I played none of them.
I played very few of them too, but I did play more than I have like any other year previously. Mostly because I have a job that allows me to actually focus on things that don't drive me insane.
I have a job that allows me to actually make purchases more than food.
Yeah.
But yeah, like fucking holy shit! Like there's a bunch of fucking games in here I didn't play, like fucking like Darkwood, Prey, Horizon Zero Dawn, Wolfenstein, Absolver, Ruiner, Gravity Rush 2, For Honor, Injustice 2, Yakuza, Observer, Night in the Woods, all this shit that I didn't play.
I haven't played Okami HD yet, so...
Giant Bomb so they're doing their Game of the Year deliberations right now, and they have their Moment of the Year in a video game. They had to make a special category specifically for Wolfenstein 2, so it's Wolfenstein Moment of the Year and then Moment of the Year, because otherwise Wolfenstein 2 would have dominated that category. And I've heard some of the shit. That game's fucking wild. I gotta play that. Holy shit. Anyway, so who's been playing what and
You're
how?
the loot box.
You're the loot box.
As of 2 days ago, I have finally gotten my 999th moon in Mario Odyssey, and I got to see the ending.
Yeah.
That took a very long time. I've been playing weekly since it came out in October, so it took 2 months to get the 1,000 moons, and that was a journey. It was an odyssey, even, I suppose.
I will say, like, as far as like value per hour goes, that's got to be like one of the most valuable games of all time. But we all know it doesn't work that way. But like, I've been playing Mario Odyssey 2. That game is a treat.
Mario Odyssey 2? There's another one already?
Yeah.
I can get a similar experience by hanging my bare ass out of a window 1,000 times and getting my 1,000 moons.
Oh, that's funny. He made a joke. Mario Odyssey is a game where I was having fun every single second I was playing it. And like Zelda, Breath of the Wild came out as well, and that's a very tremendous game as well. And I think Zelda's a very important game, but I didn't have as much fun as I did playing Mario.
The one thing with Mario that's really captivated me more than Zelda is some of the stuff people are doing. So I've been watching some of the creative runs people are doing. So I just watched a no coin run, which is mind-blowing to me. They use glitches to talk to people because apparently talking to certain characters gives you coins, and breaking some items gives you coins, and people are doing glitches to all this. I also saw someone is working, I think his name's Helix Snake, he's working on a no capture run. And some of the moves he has had to do, in like the actual movement and skill in Mario, they made the control scheme so wild that you can do anything basically.
Well, like every single move Mario's ever had is back and then some, and there's so much depth that you don't even need to use. You can beat that game without ever having to jump off your hat, but it's there for you if you want, and that makes the
Yep, there was a no jump run I saw too, which was crazy.
There's a guy
jumping at all.
Never pressing the jump button.
There's a jump counter when you get to. I'm not going to spoil it for people who haven't played it, but eventually you unlock an achievement system, and it has stuff like jumps, captures, and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
They've actually succeeded in a zero jump run where the counter says zero jumps.
There's a run where you don't ever go back to the Odyssey and fill it with moons. You just exclusively use the portraits after a certain point to get around from world to world, and I think that's crazy.
I saw a video where the dude actually did that, and I thought it was going to be one of those endless GIFs where because it just keeps going and going. He got like 400 or 500 moons in one shot.
Yeah. Mario is a tremendous game. Zelda's a tremendous game. A lot of games on here that aren't as tremendous, but still a lot of fun.
Star Wars Gamble Front 2.
We talked about that ad nauseum at this point, but we all know that's a big old hack fraud game, and shame on them. Shame on them deeply.
For my games of the year here, ARMS, I didn't like it first, but it's grown on me more than expected.
It's got its arms in you.
Cuphead, I loved it first, but it died on me faster than expected.
Yeesh.
I felt like the replay value was not there, and that as someone I like shmups. I play shmups, Danmaku Unlimited, that kind of stuff. It's abbreviation for shoot 'em up.
Oh, okay.
So once you get past the fact that the music's amazing, and the graphics are amazing, and it's stylized with the 1930s Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Stylized as fuck.
It's actually a relatively simple and not that unique game, to be honest.
It's kind of just one big boss rush, hey?
They added in other stages, but in terms of the actual gameplay, it's not actually that special, to be honest. It's all about the vibe. So as a shmup fan, it kind of died on me faster than I expected. I don't even think I finished it.
I think it scratches the same itch as like a Mega Man, where if you know what you're doing, you can get through without ever taking a hit. And like you're there to see the bosses, and like every single one is lovingly hand drawn and animated. You're there to kind of see that. And like there's a sense of accomplishment in beating a hard boss and everything. If that does it for you, that's great. But ultimately, like I've played Cuphead in co-op with my brothers, and I've had a lot of fun like that. But
I'm not saying it's not fun. It's actually very fun.
It didn't sink its hooks in me.
It didn't sink its hooks in. And then the game that surprised me the most, that kind of flew under my radar. I don't even know if this actually came out this year, but it came out on Switch this year. So I'm counting it. That's Thumper.
Thumper is a fantastic fucking rhythm game.
It is a very good game.
If I may interject, you know what's a bad rhythm game? The Beowulf Xbox 360 game that I was playing earlier for the videos.
Is that a rhythm
What?
game?
There is a mini game where you have to boost the morale of your team by doing a stupid little Guitar Hero mini game, and then you beat up a bunch of crabs.
You know what the best rhythm game ever?
Rhythm Heaven.
Cat Revenge.
Leisure Suit Larry, Magna Cum Laude.
Anyway,
on Game Grumps.
tell me about Thumper, James. Where to begin?
Where to begin?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's in a lot of ways. It's like with the old roller coaster sim games. I mean, you can't really move. You're on a solid track playing as a beetle, but as you play through the game, it adds new mechanics, new buttons, as more and more and more, to the point where there's potentially no skill ceiling. Like they had a mechanic where if you double press a button, you'll slam down and it shoots a beam. But there's like these tentacle arms all over the stage that you can kill, and the amount you kill gives you more points. So now there's routing involved and all of this kind of stuff, to the point where there's no clear end goal like a game like Rock Band would have, where hitting every note's correct. You actually have to kind of hunt out and plan, and it has way more depth than I thought it did from the trailer, to be quite honest, and it's way harder than I thought it was going to be from the trailer.
An interesting point to bring up, it's kind of nuts how Star Fox 2 came out this year, isn't it? And that Star Fox 2 could be considered for a game of this year. I mean, it could if it was good, but apparently
Wait,
it's
what?
not. So the NES Classic that came out
Yeah.
included Star Fox 2, which was never
Okay.
actually released on the Super Nintendo. They canceled it, and then they developed Star Fox 64.
Okay.
So they released Star Fox 2 officially with the SNES Classic for the first time ever. So technically, this Super Nintendo game released in 2017.
Cool.
The reviews for it were really interesting, though, because
Well, looking at that game through a modern lens does not do it any justice. If you looked at it
Well,
back
that's
then when
the
it was
thing.
new, it probably would have been great.
I saw one review where it said under a modern lens, they gave it like a 4. Apparently it only runs at like 10 frames per second, which is very bad.
Well,
But for the SNES, it was amazing.
like a thing I've heard is that we remember Star Fox 64 because that's what we kind of had. People who played Star Fox on the Super Nintendo remember that as being very good, even if it wasn't, because they were just so blown away by that technology because it was new back then.
I mean, they had a talking fox.
They did. They had robot legs. They had the goddamn Roborg legs that everyone wants to shoo away from. They had
He was
robot
Scottish.
legs.
His last name was fucking McLeod.
Miyamoto, where are the robot legs? Okay, a couple things I want to talk about, specifically in the fighting game aspect. 2017 was good for fighting games. I'm sorry, Bagel, I'm sorry.
There goes the cat.
Real quickly, Tekken 7 was fucking bananas as hell. I love that game quite a bit. I want to keep playing it, but fuck. If there's ever a game where you can put a guy from Street Fighter, a guy from King of Fighters, and a guy from fucking Final Fantasy into a game and make it go, it does. The last boss, or the last fight in the game where you're Kazuya fighting Heihachi in the fucking volcano. I'm not going to say who wins, but the winner drops the loser into the fucking volcano. And then Akuma shows up and you fight Akuma. That's a fucking game.
So I've played Tekken 7 with you. I was going to get it on the Steam sale. It's $20 worth it.
Apparently the PC version does have some minor latency issues, specifically with the netcode, but if you're playing offline, I think that's probably okay.
Skynet code.
Apparently the Xbox One version is actually the best as far as input latency goes, but I think they're all almost at parallel now. There's that. Injustice 2 came out this year. Injustice 2, same thing, just fucking DC spectacle. It's
Is Superman evil again, or did he take his pills?
I will say it's weird how crassly they write these characters, and that Wonder Woman is just so like omnicidally murderous in this game. And like I know she's a warrior, and I know she's particularly hardened and will kill. She won't hesitate, but man, she's like, maybe we just fucking murder these people. Don't evacuate the city, just fucking kill the guy. It's very weird, but I like that game too. My game of the year though is also a fighting game. Fucking Nidhogg 2. Yeah, Nidhogg 2 is a fucking fantastic game. I love that game to death.
I'm hyperventilating thinking about this.
Well, I'll tell you what. After this,
Tonight.
after this, let's play some fucking Nidhogg 2
Yep.
with a round timer
Please.
though, because we need. But Nidhogg
we
2.
need round timers, please.
Yeah.
Nidhogg 2 is the most stylish, like, Nidhogg 2 is the simplest but also deepest fighting game that anybody can play 1 or 2 rounds and pick it up and do
Can
well.
I just
Yeah,
make
I
a
was gonna
comment
say, I
as
played
to
a
like
little
the
bit
general
original.
quality
so
of
it's like Super
Nidhogg?
Smash Brothers.
In a way.
Like once we
In a
got
sense,
into
actually,
once
yeah.
we got into like the nitty gritty of
I like
talking
it.
about the best and worst of 2017, the energy dropped off a little. But as soon as you fucking uttered Nidhogg 2, everyone just like snapped to attention.
Yeah.
Nidhogg is a triumph of video games. Like, I think I'd put that on parallel with Mario Odyssey in terms of like fun to be had. I've played it less than Mario, but I fucking love that game. So fucking good.
Polygon just published a top 500 viewer chosen games of all time, and I mean, you're gonna expect a lot of the classics to get stacked. I was pleasantly surprised to see Nidhogg was actually very, very high on the all-time games list.
That game has its fan base. It's not particularly vocal fan base, but it's there.
I didn't think I liked the graphics at first, but they really grew on me.
Well, here's the thing. I thought Nidhogg 2 was ugly as fuck, but now I'm like, this game, it looks great. It looks fun, and every level is so fucking well, like the art direction in that game particularly, it knows what it is, it knows what it wants to be, and it nails the aesthetic it goes for.
More
monsters, more naked Homer Simpson men. To kind of
Thanos.
To kind of cap off what I have to say, Sonic Mania and Metroid Samus Returns, both very good games. Much like how Doom 2016 was a celebration of the entire franchise, Sonic Mania is like that thing.
I feel there's not much that needs to be said about either of those, though, because it's exactly what you would expect.
They're both good. They have every right to be good, and they're good. And if I want to say one more thing, most fucking disappointing game this year, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, suck my dick, Capcom! But also, in 2016, Street Fighter V was my most disappointing game, so if they can turn that game around, I'm sure they can turn Marvel around, but they had, like, their peak players for last week was, like, 14 people. So that game is almost fucking dead. And they just wheeled out Venom. They just wheeled out their second wave of DLC characters. No one is playing Marvel Infinite right now.
Huh.
Hopefully the Fox merger will get the X-Men back in there quicker, even though they already had the X-Men people made. They were just waiting to push a button, but we'll see how that goes. That's all I gotta say about video games. Who else wants to talk about fucking video games? Anybody?
They're games. Plug them into the TV.
The most
go
recent
bleep, bloop, and shit.
video game.
Make microtransactions. Sorry.
The most recent video game I've ever played is Pod Racer 64. So
It's a good game, though.
I have nothing to add to this
I mean,
conversation.
Depending
Did you know there was a
Did you
sequel?
just shut me up to say that you have nothing to add to the conversation?
So
No, to point out that I still play Pod Racer 64. And by the way, playing that on a large TV, it's amusing. You see every pixel.
Yeah.
So, I'm on Team Pod Racer here. Did you know there was a sequel? Like
No,
an
I
actual
can't
sequel.
find it.
like the arcade version or what?
I cannot find it. No, there's an actual sequel for N64. I cannot find
fucking
it. to
what?
save my
Crystal,
life.
they had a copy for PS2. I know you don't have the PS2, but they had a PS2 copy at Bonnie Doon. It was like $20.
I gotta sneeze real quick.
I don't think it was for N64. It was the next generation of games, so it would
Like GameCube and stuff?
it would
No,
be
I
the
think
GameCube
the-
generation.
Is it?
GameCube was the thing.
Hold on a second. I gotta keep talking. I gotta look a picture
We have a
up.
Wii, so theoretically we could play it.
Tays
We
on
have a
day, I
GameCube,
turn away
actually,
from the
believe it
mic
or
to
not.
Yeah.
sneeze.
Where's my mouse? There it is. I gotta look up a fucking picture because maybe I'm thinking of this one, and hopefully the picture will do.
The N60, you mean the Pod Racer arcade game thingy?
No.
Because that is still in Galaxy Land, and that is fun.
I forgot fucking Darth Maul's name for a second. I almost said Mace
Very
Maul.
sad.
Crystal, it says PS2, PS3, PS4. Those
Which
are
is
the
why
only
I could not find it for N64.
Yep.
It's on
That would explain
PS4. Fucking hell.
Well, it's on the download shop. It's a
I've
PS2
never
classic.
owned
okay.
a PlayStation in my life.
Huh.
But again, we talked about how my most recent game cost. I guess we have a Wii, so that would be my most recent
No,
game.
Pod
console.
Racer, great game.
It is a great game.
Pod Racer is a good game. I'm
I have
looking
a
for
whole
this.
one record in that game. It's great.
What I'm curious
I'd rather
about
beat me on
is
album.
what are people most looking forward to about 2018? In terms of movies, games, music, whatever.
1 year closer to the eventual heat death of the universe.
You know, if I'm being
There's
totally
that.
honest, I am somewhat I am kind of excited for Infinity War. If
Yeah.
nothing else, just to kind of see what this is what
More-
I'm fucking talking about right here. Hold on a second.
More so Black Panther. for
Black Panther
me.
looks really good. Apparently, there's a rumor going around that the first edit was like 4 hours long. Is this what we're all talking about? Because this
No.
is what I'm thinking of.
This is- It's Pod Racer. It's called Pod Racer
Super
Revenge.
Oh, it's
Bombad
for 3+.
racing?
Ages 3+. I love
Yeah,
it.
with a giant fucking Darth Maul
Oh,
head and Yoda with a
God.
magic wand or something up there.
Chibi Yoda is my favorite.
He's already a little bit
Mo-
chibi.
most excited movie, Infinity War and 2.0. Most excited game, probably Kirby, because I love Kirby. And Pac-Man Championship Edition 2 on Switch.
You know, I'll tell you what, I don't actually know anything about 2018 as far as releases go.
Aside from Infinity War,
Yeah, that's about it.
It might
I'm
be interesting
excited
to
for
see
nothing.
the Han Solo origin story.
Is that next year for sure?
Yes,
Yep.
I think it's next Christmas.
Okay,
Donald
cool.
Glover is young Lando.
Yeah.
A anonymous
Donald
source
Glover's
has
just
told me that
great.
Pacific Rim 2 is coming out in
Oh, yeah.
2018. I don't know who told me
If
that.
there's
but,
not Godzilla in, I'm not fucking interested.
I don't
know.
think Godzilla's in that
Oh
one,
wait, I think
unfortunately.
Godzilla 2 is coming out next year. I'm actually fucking. I love the
Have
first
you
Godzilla
seen
movie.
Shin Godzilla?
I have not, but I fucking want to watch Shin Godzilla so much.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
do it.
All right, yeah, let's watch. Because I mean, for one thing, I don't like Anno. I don't like anything he's done. But I think Anno would agree with me when his best stuff is not the Evangelion stuff, and he also hates Evangelion. So I'm down to watch it. He would love to end Evangelion.
Is it still going?
So-
He's still making movies.
One thing
He hates his fans, man. He hates Evangelion fans so much. He's like, I wish you would stop wanting this shit so I could stop making
As
it.
far as I was concerned, it was done ages ago, like
No,
forever
he's
ago.
making he's not making new movies. He's just retelling the story and changing
Evangelion
subtly
was
everything.
so
about it.
well when I went
That
to
sounds like Saw. That's what
when I
we
went
do
to
with Saw.
Japan in
Yeah.
2013. they were still working on Evangelion, and they were only on chapter 2 of 4. Because they were redoing it as 4 super high quality movies.
Oh, interesting.
So the second movie came out in 2013, so they might be done now.
I remember there was one that came out in theaters that I went to go see with Maddie and her sister, and there were a bunch of people who they were afraid for a second that there was going to be English dubs.
Oh,
wait.
most excited 2018 Card Captors done.
Hey, hold on, is this the one we're talking about then? Whoops.
That is the one I'm talking about.
Okay, all right. Looks
Star
somewhat
Wars Racer Revenge.
Yeah.
It looks like the same game but better.
If it's not Bombad Racing, I'm not interested. Get that shit out of here.
It's not on N64, so it's not.
From what I understand, it's the exact same engine, just new courses, new racers.
Okay.
But there's no respawning. If you crash your ship, you're dead.
Done?
Okay, then I would only last about 10 seconds.
That's pretty harsh.
I literally die every 10 seconds on that game, but yet I still have so much fun playing it.
It's pretty great.
So that was Giraffe Stay Out 3.
Giraffe Stay Out 3.
Thanks for listening to 2 hours of us rambling about.
Hold on,
stuff.
before we get out of here, I do have a bit of housekeeping to mention. First things first, as we all know, the podcast is now on iTunes and SoundCloud, as well as the regular YouTube links are going to be going up every Wednesday.
If you don't know one of those, how are you listening to this? Like, actually tell me, because I'm kind of impressed.
Again,
direct brain download.
Hypothetically, it'll all be going up. I still don't understand how to work out the RSS things, but everything should be going up as intended. So as far as I know, like, have we been able to check? Is the second episode on iTunes? Do we know for sure?
I saw it on
got it on
SoundCloud.
the podcast app.
Okay.
So should work.
So we're good. Okay, I gotta say real quick. I did actually end up making a goddamn email account for this goddamn fucking thing. If I could just find the there we go.
Goddamnfucking@goddamnfucking.com.
Yeah.
So send us your questions. We'll give you advice. And this is my friend, and a bunch of dipshits.
If you want to actually write into the show, maybe we'll answer questions. I don't know. Maybe have a mailbag.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. If you want to write into actualshow150@gmail.com. What's that email?
Maximum fun. Pick us up.
Actual show150@gmail.com.
Is it like Canada
Actual
150?
show.
Or?
No, it's because I couldn't get just
gmail.com.
actual show. But I'm thinking, I don't know if that email will stick. I might go with it, yes. And hey, Maximum Fun, if you're listening, I know you won't host us because you're a bunch of baby bitches, but come at me, all right? Let's go, let's do this thing.
And if that offended you, we're sorry for calling you baby bitches. Just please host us.
Anyway, you guys want to play some fucking Nidhogg or something?
Yes,
Fuck yeah.
please.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.